fabric from the land of the five rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We back. Man, y'all already know what time it is. Hey, man, it's about that time, man.
Oh, you didn't know?
50-50.
Welcome to the 50-50 Show with PharoahNFL and the Severe Raider, the realest show for Raider Nation.
The perpetuation of the greatness of the Raiders to take a professional football team and give it a distinct characteristic that's different from all others.
Make sure to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Man, y'all already know what time it is, man. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, man. Hey, man, another day, another week, man. It's a 50-50 show, and we here, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. The night crew, we see you pulling up, man. We see Rick Rock in the building, man. My guy, man, he says salute Severe, man. Appreciate you coming through. He says salute 50-50 show. Shout out to my boys, Pharaoh, Severe, also to the Silver and Black Raider Nation, man. Hey, man. Man, appreciate you coming through, man. We got Raider Way in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. He says salute, Pharaoh. And the Sultan of Severe. Okay. Hey, man. He's coming through with some high praise. Raider Way in the building says this show has more delays than Wilkins foot surgeries. Golly. He's coming for us.
Fired.
Man, People are cracking up, man. But yeah, we're gonna get into Christian Wilkins, man, because we're hearing rumors. Hopefully, it's not true. It's not true, but
yes,
it doesn't seem like it's looking too good. I mean, I just, you know what? We'll get into it in just a second, man. But Daryl, man, appreciate you coming through. Yaya Hatamaki coming through, man. As usual, man, my guy, man, appreciate you coming through. Chewy's NFL News and Podcasts. If you haven't already, make sure to go ahead and support my guy. Appreciate you coming through. My 2 cents in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mint Beats. Salud Nation. He says it may be slow season, but the boys still got motion. Yeah, facts. 100%, man. My guy, man. Hey, man. The producer. Should we give him the official? We got to give him production credit, man. The beat that he provided for the show, man. Hey, man, appreciate you, my guy.
Facts.
LV Raider in the building, man. We see you, man. My guy, man. Rosetown pulling up, man. What's going on? We got everybody pulling up today, man. Appreciate you coming through. Sacktown Raider Mike in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. Just Raiders,
Sacktown,
baby.
salute to you, bro.
Salute. My guy, man. Appreciate you coming through. Hey, yeah, man. Hey, man, we appreciate everybody coming through, man. Hey, look, it's going to be a good show, man. We're going to have a good conversation today. Severe, what's going on, man? How you been?
Yes. Oh, man, good, man. You know, just, hey, ready for this training camp to hurry up and get here. Ready for this preseason, these joint practices.
Yeah.
You know, my son's season is kicking into high gear too, man. So, you know, it's about to be a whole lot of football going on over here, man. So, can't wait.
Hey, man. Hey, it's that time. Hey, but it's happening. It's kind of happening at the right time too, because you know, slow season. But then, how long is the season, football season for your son?
My son, I think last year it was 10 games plus the playoffs.
Man, and they went far. I think they were pretty good last year too.
Yeah, they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah, they only lost 2 games all year, both to the same team, unfortunately.
Damn, man. Hopefully they get their rematch. Hopefully they get their rematch, man. But yeah, man. Let's not waste any time and let's just get into let's get into the Christian Wilkins, man. You know, I wanted to wait a little bit, you know, before we got into the conversation. But anybody just joining us, man, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We're going live on both our channels. I'm sure everybody's been talking about it. You know, this kind of been the hot rumor around the social media streets is pretty much saying that, you know, Christian Wilkins might need surgery, which would mean that he's out for the season. We did see, I think it was like a couple weeks ago. It's a good episode. I think at The Athletic, beat writers, they had like a doctor on there, and he was breaking down the injury, and he was saying that, you know, this type of injury, like if he's going back into a boot, if he re-injured it, the only course of action is to have surgery immediately. There's no it's going to get better over time or anything like that. So he kind of implied that, you know, Christian Wilkins not having surgery probably means that it's a good sign that he's going to be okay. They just need time to recover. Because if it was anything else, they would have had it immediately.
Yeah.
But we're hearing that, you know, it might be a whole completely different situation. It might be that the Raiders want surgery because obviously Christian Wilkins, who, if y'all didn't see the thumbnail, check out the thumbnail. You know, let me actually pull up the picture. It was like a social media post with Christian Wilkins. It looks like it's, you know, at some type of gathering with his boys or something like that, and you could clearly see that he's in a boot. So, which I mean, we kind of knew, but you know, it's just to see that and then hear the rumor that, you know, he possibly needs surgery, and you know, Christian Wilkins is like fighting back on that, like he wants to wait it out, whatever the case may be. I don't know what's going on. You know, right now it's a lot of people. There's a lot of chatter, but we don't know 100% if he's gonna eventually need surgery. If he needs surgery, then it's done. He's done for. Let me pull this up real quick.
Yeah.
So you can see it right here. You can see him with the boot. So the reason why this is significant, like he took it off, which, you know, implied like, okay, he's ready to go. He's healthy. He thought he was good. And then now he's back on, which we already knew that. But now hearing chatter that, you know, possibly like he might need surgery, and the reason why it hasn't happened yet is not because the Raiders don't want it to happen. It's because Christian Wilkins doesn't want it to happen. He's kind of like holding out hope, or I don't know what. But I guess if you think about it, maybe he thinks like maybe somehow, some way he can recover and like get through it. And we're just talking right now. We're just having a conversation. Maybe he the way he looks at it, waiting doesn't really hurt him or doesn't really change anything. I think it's just holding out hope that he's going to actually play the season. But right now it's hard to say, man. I don't know. I don't know what to believe, but it kind of came from came from a solid source, you know. Shout out to Mitchell Rance. Yeah. Came from a solid source. We had him on the show. He kind of talked to us about, you know, certain things that was going on with the Raiders. You know, shout out to him with Colton Miller's situation and things like that. We still haven't seen that resolved yet with a contract, but Colton Miller did show up to camp, so there wasn't any type of holdout or any type of drama or anything like that. But yeah, he was like one of the first ones to talk about the, you know, surgery. So we'll see. And it wasn't just him too. I think Tony Pauline also talked about it for whatever it's worth. Yes. So I mean, what's your take on the rumors that Christian Wilkins needs surgery?
For right now, they're just that, you know, rumors. It could be a situation where maybe one doctor said one thing. And the thing about medicine is that, you know, medicine, it's obviously it's science, but some of it's art as well, where it's like, you know what, there's more than one way for something, for you to get that particular result. So in one doctor's opinion, you might need to have a surgery. You might need that surgery immediately. You can go to a second doctor and they may have a different opinion. So it could be a situation where, you know, one doctor says he needs surgery and he's going to see some other doctors, some other podiatrists, what have you, and they're going to see what they say about the situation. And maybe they say, you know what, you really don't need surgery. This will heal. If he does need surgery, hopefully it's not, you know, a situation where it's the bone again. I'm hoping that it's maybe some of the screws that are in place that's holding the bone there, and he needs new like hardware in there. Hopefully it's something like that, because if it's a re-break of the bone or if the bone didn't fuse correctly, then essentially he's done for the year. Right, yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, just race, he might have to have surgery and sit out the season. Yeah, no, it's if he has surgery, it's over. Season's over. Like the recovery time and all that for him to get back is just going to take too long. So I think they're just probably going to play it safe. But man, it just makes you think like this is why teams tend to not want to build through free agency. They don't want to. It's like when you got to depend on signing free agents and things like this happen, it really hurts the team, because now like we're depending on Christian Wilkins to be there. But now, you know, and the thing is that all the good teams at the end of the day, they have good depth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if you think about it, Raiders in theory should have the next man up mentality, but are we even built for that? Are the Raiders built for the, you know, right now they got role players. So now you got to move those role players into a more prominent, you know, starting role. It's like, man, it's a little bit tough, but yeah, we'll see, man. I'm holding out hope. I hope Christian Wilkins is going to be healthy, because I think if we're able to get Kuntz, hopefully we get Kuntz, because we haven't really seen like a full season of Kuntz, Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins. You know, before he got hurt, he was coming to his own. He was making plays. Yeah. You kind of seen his impact, and then he got hurt, so it was kind of tough to see that. And obviously, with Malcolm Kuntz, we've seen the impact he had late in 2020, the latter part of the 2023 season. So we know everybody had like high hopes for him. Man, you know, this is where we got to be honest.
You got to be honest.
Yeah.
This happened last year where we were like, if this happens and like, if this happens, like, but in reality, this is why I say 2026, bro. 2026.
Yeah.
Another good off season. You get a little bit more depth. You got a whole bunch of money, that you can sign and extend and get some, maybe get lucky, maybe grab a blue chip player in free agency, which the likelihood of that is slim to none because a lot of those players get franchised, but at least try and see. Yeah. Don't get
or
out
not.
Don't.
No.
Yeah.
Or not. We just saw what just happened.
Right. But I don't think it's okay to be active, but then if you handing out contracts like Christian Wilkins got, like he literally was, when I think he automatically, did he become like the highest paid D tackle at the time when he signed that contract?
I believe so.
Top 5 or top 3. That contract made him like, yeah.
He was high up there because I think Dexter Lawrence had just got paid or something like that too. So he might not have been the highest, but he was up there.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about the thing that makes this Christian Wilkins injury so bad is that anytime you're in a salary cap league, and this is part of the reason why the running back position has been devalued, because if you can get like equal or lesser production and you use lesser resources, whether that be salary cap space or draft picks, that's the route you want to go. And now when you have a guy at a premier position, which is, a 3 tech, and he's the third highest paid player on your team, right? It's like it's Gino Smith, Max Crosby, and him are the 3. So when he's the third highest paid player on your team, he's taking up that much of your salary cap space. You expect him to produce at a level, that's equal to the amount that he's being compensated. But him being hurt and not being able to play at all, not even be able to play in a diminished capacity, but not even being able to play at all. That just puts your team in a very tough situation. And as a result of that injury, and that's probably the uncertainty that puts us in a situation during the draft where we have to draft guys like Tonkin Hemingway and we have to draft guys like JJ Pegues because we need more depth in that defensive tackle room because there is uncertainty surrounding the status of Christian Wilkins. So it's just a very tough spot to be in. So hopefully we get some clarity on the situation soon. As you said, if it is a situation where if he needed surgery, he would have had it immediately, then this does bode well that he's still in a walking boot. Maybe it's just a slow recovery. Maybe, this is just either the team or Christian Wilkins operating under an abundance of caution, making sure that, a very small bone in the foot of a 300+ pound man is not put in a position to be hurt again. But even that being said, like just the uncertainty surrounding the entire situation, it's not good, especially when you're going into a season with a new regime and you're hoping to kind of make some headway in a very tough division that put 3 teams in the playoff last year. It's some very Raider stuff.
Yeah, man, it's tough, man. I think, at the end of the day, like yeah, man, like 2026, man. That's almost like 2026. I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic, like I always say every show for the season, but man, that's gonna be tough if we lose a Wilkins, because especially on defense, where like literally defensive tackle's kind of been an issue for a while now. And a lot of people point, I don't want to bring this up, old wounds, but
you already know what it is. You ain't gotta say it, bro.
You ain't gotta say it, bro. He plays for the Eagles. He just leave it at that. He plays for the Eagles. He's one of the best, young defensive players in the NFL, man. We'll just leave it at that, man. But it is what it is. I guess that's gonna be another premium position that the Raiders are gonna have to, or another position that the Raiders are gonna have to like get. And I think. And a lot of the mock drafts that we did, remember you kept getting a defensive tackle in the second round. Your boy, I think, where did he get? He ended up
Tyler Williams.
Did he go to Detroit?
He went to Detroit. Yep.
He went to Detroit
in the first round. Yeah, in the first round. Yeah.
Went to Detroit.
I think he was the third D tackle taken because I think it was Mason Graham went, then Kenneth Grant went, then he went. I think those were the
Kenneth
three.
Grant went to the Bengals.
Did he? I think he went to. I thought it was Green Bay, but I could be wrong on that though. I thought it was Green Bay. But
unless Green Bay had 2 first-round picks, because I know they got a receiver.
Who they pick?
The receiver out of they picked the receiver out of Texas.
Oh yeah. You're right. Dang, forgot my guy's name. Okay. Then yeah, man, I don't know where Kenneth Grant went. Then I don't know where
I think he went to the Bengals. Let's see. But yeah, man.
So that's
and that's why when we did our mock drafts, we were looking at the trenches. We were looking at offensive line. And look, we're in a situation with Colt Miller where he's still negotiating his contract. We're hoping for the best. They figured that out. But like right now, they're negotiating that contract. If they go a different route or they trade him or whatever the case may be, that puts a lot of pressure on the offensive line, but also kind of forces the Raiders to go trenches next year in the first round. When we are like, hey, you know what? Maybe that's the year that we get a young quarterback in the first. Nah, man, that's not gonna happen. And then now you got Christian Wilkins who's on a boot, and for me, sometimes you can read between the lines. And I brought this up before. I said, hey, think about when Pete Carroll was talking about Christian Wilkins early in the offseason, where he was just like, he was just like kind of like Pete Carroll's always positive. He's always positive, bro. He's gonna be the most positive person. But the way he was like trying to explain the whole Christian Wilkins situation and when he expect him to be back and he's not at camp or he's not at practice, it was just like, it's a long road ahead and we're gonna play it safe. But yeah, it's just you could tell, man, like he knows that it's a tricky situation, but we'll see. I think, and the reason why we're bringing it up is because obviously there was a big rumor over the weekend or before the weekend. I think it was it Friday or Saturday, where the news kind of like went, it was all over Raiders social media about how Christian Wilkins is gonna need surgery, like he's gonna need surgery. So we'll see, man. We'll keep an eye out, but let us know in the chat, man. But before we move it along, man. My guy Raiders Smoke in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through.
It's started off right.
Coming through, starting off right with a super chase. It's showing love to my folks, 50-50, like and sub. Yeah, make sure to clock in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Yeah, man. Hey, man, we got everybody like they know what it is, man. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate everybody coming through. They could sign a free agent D tackle. It better be for pennies, bro. It ain't gonna be for
who even out there at this point?
Nah. Yeah, no, thanks. Man, we got everybody pulling up, man. Appreciate everybody coming through. Let's see. We did draft a lot of D tackles, yeah. But then it was like guys in the later rounds.
Yeah.
So, and it's not like JJ Pegues. Like when people talk about JJ Pegues, they talk about, oh man, this guy is like a Swiss Army knife and he can go on offense and play fullback. I'm like, how about him playing at D tackle? Like, can he contribute year one? Probably needs some time to develop. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be that. Then the other guy that we got like in the 5th or 4th round, Hemingway, like it's kind of been a mixed bag. I've heard people that love him, but then there's some people who are like me, where I was just like, I'm not gonna lie, like I was like, I don't know. Yeah. Should we have went this route, with this guy? I mean, but we'll see. But there are people that like him, man. A lot of people like him.
I thought it was too early for him. I thought it was at least a round too early for him, at least. But I thought the same thing about Dante Thornton, and he's been getting rave reviews in these mini camps, and so has Tonka Hemingway. So they both been getting some pretty good, nice praise. Obviously, the praise Dante Thornton's been getting has been on an entirely different level, but the coaches have liked what they've seen out of Dante. So, we'll see. Hopefully, he's one of those situations where it works out. He's a high motor guy. He fits the mold of the defensive tackles that Pete Carroll likes. He's in that same height, weight range that you brought up previously. That 285 to 310ish range, like he's right in there. So I think we could have a guy that he's obviously not Christian Wilkins level, but a nice rotational piece. JJ Pegues, the same thing. He's an uber athletic guy, twitchy for a D tackle. So hopefully, we're able to mine something from him as well. At one point in his career, Max Crosby was a late round guy with some traits, and he was able to parlay that into being one of the best defensive players in the league. So we don't want to put those kind of expectations on these guys, but you never know. It all until you lace them up and you get between the lines, you kind of don't know. But we kind of got to temper our expectations for the time being, and hopefully these guys just are able to contribute year one, let alone really make an impact.
Yeah, man, I hope so too. And Space Beast brought up, I was gonna mention this, but yeah, like last time we drafted a few D tackles in the same draft was I think Dave Ziegler when he went ahead and drafted Byron Young and was it defensive tackle out of Tennessee that we got? Is he still on the team?
No.
I think he might. Is he?
Matthew Butler is gone. Matthew Butler's gone. It was Neil. It was Neil Farrell.
Neil Farrell. And that was his first draft. Neil Farrell and Matthew Butler was his first draft. Yeah. And then Byron Young was like the following year.
Yeah, Byron Young was a Tyree year, unfortunately. The Tyree Trey Tucker year.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God, that's crazy. And Byron Young he did go to the Eagles, won the Super Bowl. And Neil Farrell went to the Chiefs and won the Super Bowl.
Man, and then someone was mentioning that is Quentin Jefferson still out there? Yeah, man, that's 2021, man. I mean, was it 2022? Might have been 2021. Yeah. 2021. 2021 was that would have been nice, but now at this point, I think and it's kind of weird though. Like, I know Pete Carroll he's gonna have his say on the defense, but I don't know why no one's really talking about this. Is just how Pete Carroll and like Patrick Graham are gonna like work together and making this defense go. Because then it's like you got a defensive mind, and Pete Carroll, he likes to do it his way. You could tell like he has he's had a lot of influence, the type of players the Raiders are bringing in and not bringing back. But then you got a Patrick Graham who's done it his way the last 4 years, and he's had his system. Like, how are they going to collaborate and make a defense? I mean, for the most part, I can see it working out, but then at the same time, it's like it's going to be different. I feel like it's going to be different, And I know Mike Rain said Quentin Jefferson. Hey, man, at this point, like we might need to bring some. We got to bring some people in. Sure, because man, if Max gets injured again this year, I'm calling him Bosa 2.0. I hope Max kind of figures out, like, you know what, in order for him to prolong his career, like he can still play 100 miles per hour. He just can't play every snap. Bro.
Less snap.
Come on, man. It was cool. It was a cool story. You know what I mean? But
exactly.
The reality is like football is a very demanding and physical sport. Like, it's going to catch up to you. You're playing every snap at defensive tackle. You're running around, man. Players running into you like 100 miles per hour, like offensive linemen falling on you. Like, it's just, come on, man. You gotta figure that out, man. And part of that is just you gotta protect yourself. Hey, and probably one of the best guys to let you know how he protected himself is Tom Brady's in the building. So I'm sure he could talk to him how long he played. I mean, quarterback and defensive end is completely different positions, but at the end of the day, like, just get in the mindset of like, how do I prolong my career? I think that's gonna be the best. I think that would be the best move for Max moving forward. But I hope he doesn't get hurt. That'd be like basic KO to the season, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because last season I think was the first time he missed games, right? But he was hurt the prior year. Or did he miss games that year too? I don't remember. I don't recall. I know for sure last year he missed games. Did he miss your game? I know he played all that year hurt, but I don't recall if he missed games.
No, I don't think he missed games because last year was the first time he missed the game. Yeah. Like he had his streak was broken like last year where he had to I think it was last year where he had to miss a game for the first time, which is crazy, but it was a tough year for him. Let's see, man. Man, we got some haters in here, man.
Oh, for sure. All the time.
Come on, man. You can't do that. Do you kick tires on Clowney? Now, that's a good question.
No. At this point, look, I think somebody put in the chat hashtag 2026, man. So, like Clowney doesn't help us in the future. I don't want to, and I've said this before. We have all the excuses in the world for Tyree. His rookie year, his foot was hurt. Last year, well, that was still his rookie year because his rookie year, his foot was hurt. So now he's entering his quote unquote second year. I need to see a leap. I need to see a humongous leap. And I don't want it to be a situation where any other player outside of, Kuntz, who's a homegrown guy, and Max, who's a homegrown guy, I don't want anybody else getting in his way. I want him to have the fullest opportunity to go out there and prove himself and show that he is worthy to continue to be on this team. Because if he cannot, I don't like, and the Raiders they're going to have to make a decision on his fifth year option. They're like 99.9% going to decline it, but they want to see what he does this year at first. So at least they'll be able to make a more informed decision. Because there's always the outside chance that he just has a crazy blow up year and they decide to exercise that fifth year option. But no, it's unlikely they do. So if he's going to do anything, like you would have thought last year would have been this opportunity because there was no Kuntz and no Max Crosby, and he still couldn't really get ahead of guys like Chason or Snowden. So this year, maybe in a lesser role for the whole season, in a more rotational role with better players in front of him, hopefully he can get a little bit more production. It's a little bit of a different system, as you alluded to. This is like the Pete Carroll style system. So you want kind of quicker, twitchier guys, which is not really Tyree, to be honest with you. But you're hoping he can mine some kind of potential out of him, because that's kind of what they've been able to do in defenses in the past. Think about Cliff Averill. Think about, I don't want to say Chris Clemens, like those guys like that. Like they've been able to find production out of those guys. So hopefully he's able to do something similar with Tyree.
Yeah, but I could see a Clowney fitting here because you got Kuntz, who tore his ACL last year. Is he all the way back? Is he 100%? So he's kind of a question mark. How much of Kuntz are you gonna like? What's the situation with Kuntz? Then you got Tyree, question mark. We don't know what to expect. Let's be honest. Like, we're hoping we get something, but we don't know what to expect. And then you got Christian Wilkins. So now, like, you're throwing Clowney, it's more of a adding some talent to the defensive line. At DN, I know you say quicker guys, but I would say that more would make sense more in the inside. Like, defensive tackles would be a certain size, a certain type of skill set. But I would say, like, at defensive end, like a physical big defensive end, I think you think of the Michael Bennett's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like those guys, like they were with Seattle when Pete Carroll was there.
He was kind of both. He played both duties though. But I think of Michael Bennett more as kind of like an interior guy though. But he played both.
But they moved him around. I could see them doing that to Clowney. I could see Clowney doing that.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, how much longer is Clowney going to be in the league? And is he like on your timeline? That's what I'm saying. Like, if this is if this is hashtag 2026, you feel me? Like, there's no point in bringing in Clowney because all he does now is take away snaps from young guys. Like, I'd rather see what Ja Joyner has, see what Zach Carter has, see what Lualu has, see what Tyree has. Like, get all these young guys on the defensive line, whether that be on the interior or on the edge, and let these guys play. And just the way they were playing defense last year, they were kind of, it was unique because it's almost like a 3-3-5 where it's like 3 down defensive linemen and two stand-up linebackers. But a lot of times, like the guys that were like quote unquote stand-up linebackers were technically like just edges that were just in a 2-point stance instead of a 3-point stance. So maybe they go back to doing something like that. And if they do that, then low key, Devin White, is kind of a edge type player. He's kind of best like rushing the quarterback. That's where he's kind of been able to find some effectiveness in the over the last few years. So maybe they kind of view him as a guy that can get in some rotations as an edge player. Last year they played Lualu at the edge some. They played Zach Carter at the edge some. So maybe that's kind of the route they take, where they got these defensive linemen, kind of like they did with Bennett, and where like, hey, we can play big edge and have we got all these D tackles. We can have these guys on the edge, and we can rotate some of these guys on interior, and that we're still keeping everybody fresh. And then we still got Max, and we still got Coombs, and we still got Tyree.
I think it would be a 1-year deal. And then another thing too, you got to keep in mind, like I could see Spytek feeling that way, but a guy like Carroll, who's like 155 years old, is gonna be like, I'm not waiting for. I'm trying to win now. Like, I'm planning on being here in 2026, but I'm trying to win right now. Yeah. Like I'm trying to hit the ground running. Yeah. So maybe he can go to Spytek and be like, hey, look, like, bring this guy in, man. I think he would add more competition to the room. If it's a favorable deal. I get what you're saying. Let the young guys play, but I think Spytek would want that. But the head coach might be like, yeah, man, I don't really got a lot of time. You know what I mean? So if I know that something's not going to really work out, or I need to have more competition at a certain position, then adding Clowney might make sense. But yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see. If you haven't already, make sure to click in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We appreciate everybody coming through. Raider Nation 510 says Carroll and PG will be a match made by the football gods. PG does awesome work with the front seven, while Carroll will help with the uniformity and press coverage of the defense. Okay. I like that mindset. You're saying Carroll will help with the coverage, which obviously that's his background, is, a lot of his, think of Legion of Boom and what made them great. Their secondary. It was a great defense overall, but like their secondary is like what made them super special. And then, obviously Pete Carroll's a former secondary coach. We all know his background in that. So yeah, hey man. Yeah. I like that mindset. I hopefully it works out. I'm hoping that it's gonna work out. But right now, my biggest concern is actually the players, not even the coaches right now. Is the players, man. Like, we need Christian Wilkins out there. We need Kuntz to be back to the Kuntz that we think he can be. Pre-injury. Those are questions people are kind of assuming, like, oh yeah, Kuntz he's back, but like, we got to see it.
Yeah. I mean, he still hasn't practiced with the team. He's like still off on the side, like, not doing like stuff with the actual team himself. So he's not fully back yet himself.
Right. And what did they say about the ACL injury, man? I'm telling you, bro, it's if your name ain't Adrian Peterson, it takes 2 years? I don't know. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it is what it is.
Yeah. 2 years to get back to where you like were, like 100%. So yeah, we'll kind of see. We'll kind of see. Like I said, that's why I said. I mean, that's why I think they drafted so many defensive tackles, because I think we talked about it earlier in the offseason, right? Where they had Zach Carter, who was who we brought over from the Bengals. I think he was on the Bengals practice squad last year. Who I think last year he played D tackle, but I think when we were looking at it earlier this year, like he was listed at DN. So like, is that a situation where they're like, hey, he's like a big edge that can also rotate inside, or do they really view him as a true defensive end? Especially now that they picked up so many defensive tackles, Lucky Fatu, Lualu still here. They drafted 2 guys. So that's a pretty deep room. So I would assume, even if we didn't bring in a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, like some of those interior guys are going to get some time on the outside. The only one that probably wouldn't is Lucky Fatu, just because he's like a true, like, like zero technique or one technique, where he's like a nose tackle. He can only play interior. But some of those other guys, like, that's the benefit of having those kind of mid-ish, defense. those tweener defensive tackles. Like you can kind of move those guys around, and you can get, obviously you're not going to get the same kind of pass rush prediction as you would out of Max Crosby or Malcolm Kuntz, but they can still give you some juice on the outside as power rusher. So maybe that's kind of the calculation there.
Tyree. Raider Smoke says if Tyree Wilson gets beat out by Snowden, then that speaks volumes about where Tyree is at in his career. Looking forward to the competition coming up in training camp. Yeah,
he got beat out last year, Ryan. Sad.
We'll see, man. Hey, he's saying all the right things, man. He says he feels more comfortable. He looks more confident. He feels more comfortable. So we'll see, man. Super Omni Con in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. Tyree Wilson, come on, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
CC Motion, do you cover boxing, UFC? Yeah, man. Nah, it's strictly Raiders channel. I mean, we talk about other sports too as well. It might come up in conversation here and there, but mostly football. Mostly football. We'll sprinkle in some other topics too. Clowney is good for 8 sacks, maybe on a cheap. But Severe was brutally honest. Yeah, man. Look, that's what I'm saying. If I think it's gonna be is what Severe is saying is basically GM versus coach.
Yeah,
I'm thinking more for the coach, Pete Carroll. He wants to win as soon as possible. I know he knows what it takes to build a team, but he also understands, like, hey, man, like, father time is not on his side right now. So, being honest,
I take like it ain't my fault you owe, bro. Like,
right? Spite is like one of
I got
young
you, Gino,
GM.
bro. I got you, Gino. If you don't get your ass out of here,
right? We'll see with Gino. We'll see, man. Arturo, man, I see you talking trash, man. He said, are we gonna break 500 with Gino? I think Gino could be solid if everything around him is good. So we'll see if the offensive line can protect him, if we can run the football. We got some pieces on offense. If Chip Kelly can come into the NFL season, hit the ground running, you know what I mean? Like, Chip Kelly's kind of like the wild card on this team. I think that's one of the bigger wild cards. We could talk about, obviously, everybody's talking about Genty, but I think Chip Kelly's one of the guys that, like, if he can devise an offense where, like, he's calling he's calling the plays like the best offensive coordinators can do, and then he devises a running game where, if we can improve from last year, I mean, there's only one way for the Raiders is to go up when it comes to run game. I think we were one of the worst in the NFL, if not the worst run game. So you give Gino a run game, you give him a safety blanket like Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer if he's involved. Jacoby Myers, solid receiver. Everybody else is kind of like, if we're being honest, like, if you're not a Raider fan, like, they're question marks. Yeah, we don't know what Trey Tucker is going to look like with Chip Kelly. We don't know what a rookie Dante Thornton is going to look like. We don't know what a rookie Jack Besh is going to look like. We see talent, we could see it, but we got to see it on the football field. But I know Jacoby's good. I know Brock Bowers is good. I know Michael Mayer is talented. He just needs a good offensive coordinator to get involved, because he's the second tight end. Like, like, let's be honest, like, he's not going to be high priority on the offensive, on like the list of where the ball is going to go. Like, it's going to go to Jacoby, it's going to go to Brock. Honestly, it's probably going to be run the football first.
Yeah, with Chip, yeah.
And then you start talking about Brock. Then you start talking about Jacoby.
Yeah. I mean, I think Gino can be, even with bad offensive line play and no running game, he'll be solid. If he gets, like, good offensive line play and a good running game, I think he can be, like, very good. Like, I think top 10, top 8 level quarterback play. But if not, last year he was good and then got to the red zone and, he kind of started forcing stuff. and that's why he had a whole bunch of turnovers down there. So, I think he'll get solid quarterback play, damn near no matter what happens. If we get that support that he needs, like in the run game or in protection from the offensive line, and Chip Kelly, I think I'm expecting Chip Kelly to do what Chip Kelly does, which is, be a very good play caller. Using misdirections, putting his players in the best possible positions to succeed. I'm already expecting that. So I think, Gino will be able to cook. So if all that stuff comes together, we can have a surprising season. But I'm not expecting us to do nothing too crazy. But, we'll win a few more games than the national media expects. I think they have us at like 6.5. I think last time I checked, over under.
Low key, the media's been showing love to the Raiders. Low key. Like
well, they showed to an extent.
No, last year they were like, "Oh, this is terrible." Raider.
Yeah.
And we were in denial too, because we were like, "Oh, a lot of Raider fans, including myself." I was like, "Hey, man, they hate. Why they hating on the Raiders, man? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing too much." And guess what? The Raiders went 4-13. So were they really wrong? At the end of the day, they weren't. So, but they're showing love to the Raiders. Could it be a good sign of something to come? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Raiders smoke again.
Yes, sir.
My guy with a super chat, he says, "Have faith, nation. Our young guys will step up if Wilkins can't go. It could be worse. Case in point, Tyree Halliburton, Game 7. Did you see that? Did you see that graphic where it said every player that tore their ACL in the playoffs wore number 0?
No, I did not see that graphic. That's crazy.
So
or tore their Achilles?
Yeah, tore their Achilles. So obviously Tyree Halliburton. Then you got Damian Lillard. And then you got old boy from the Celtics.
Oh, Jason Tatum. Oh yeah. This year. Oh yeah, that's crazy. That's weird. That's crazy. That's crazy.
What's going on, man? Players are getting and it was funny. There was a funny meme. It's like showing a picture of Michael Jordan in Converses. It's like, it's crazy that players back then used to wear these types of shoes and didn't really have a lot of torn Achilles like today's NBA play. Like, I feel like NBA players nowadays are getting torn Achilles. Is it because they're playing a lot of games? Is it the conditioning? What is it?
They played the same amount of games back then. So
yeah, what's going on, man? It's something that they got to figure out, because why are players getting, like, even when Kobe got it, it was kind of like, oh damn, I didn't really.
That was the first time. That's the first time I remember it happening in a while. Like when it happened to Kobe, I think that was the first player I remember it happening to since Dominique Wilkins. Like that was the first. Like that's how long ago you have to go back before I can remember another guy like tearing their Achilles tendon. So, and that was happening pretty often. So I mean, some people attribute it to the shoes guys are wearing. It's not enough like support. Some people can attribute it to like the type of training guys are doing. I don't know, because obviously Kobe. For it to happen to Kobe, he's like peak physical condition. He's a guy that took very good care of himself. In terms of doing all the things nutritionally, stretching. Therapy, massages, all that stuff. So he did all that stuff right. So sometimes it's just, it's just going to be a freak accident. It's just going to happen. But for the number of times it's been happening now, I don't know. It's wild. It's crazy. But another reason is that now athletes are like, a lot of these guys are bigger, faster, and they're moving more dynamically than they ever have. Like you got like KD is a unicorn, right? Like even Tyrese Halliburton for a guard, he's a tall guard, he's a lanky guard, and he's doing a lot more dynamic movements than they did in the past. Where in the past, like it was a lot of pick and roll and a lot of called plays, and now in the NBA, it's not really a whole bunch of called plays. A lot of stuff is they just run off of actions where there's like I said, a lot of pick and rolls, pin down, stuff like that. They're not running as many plays, so you're putting a lot of onus on your shot creators to create shots. And when they have to do that, it's like a lot more dynamic movements they have to make. So, it's just a different game.
And a common thread that I'm seeing with a lot of players that's hurting their Achilles, and I'm not sure if this is true for every player,
They light
but
skinned.
yeah, they light skinned, man. You took the words out of my mouth, man. They light skinned, man. That's what it is, man. Every light skinned player is going to just tear they Achilles just right off the bone, man. It's just they done, man. They not.
Kevin Durant was the blackest one. Kevin Durant was the blackest one.
Nah, but no, for real though, man. What I was trying to say is that like every player, they were hurt prior to hurting their Achilles. So Kevin Durant, he was hurt, but he decided to push through it because guess what? It's the NBA Finals. Of course, he's gonna play. Ends up tearing his Achilles. Remember what happened to? I'm not sure if he tore his Achilles, but remember what happened to? This is football. I'm going all the way back to football, but RG3 in the playoffs, never the same player. You know, after he had to play through injury and then his whole leg just gave out. Damian Lillard was probably playing hurt. Halliburton was playing hurt. He had a calf strain. That same leg tore his Achilles. Kobe, if you were watching that game where he tore his Achilles, he got banged up during that game. And obviously he was playing at age 35, 36 as a guard, playing like top 3, top 5 in the league in minutes. That's like crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then the rest is history. We all know that he ended up tearing his Achilles. But now I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if it's true for every player that got an Achilles tear, but I just know of the like the Kevin Durant's. I just remember they hurt themselves. Calf, they hurt their leg, and they just try to push through it. And then what happens is you put a lot of pressure on that leg, and then it's going to give way in some way or form, and it happens to be Achilles. So, but you know what though? Before, the Achilles used to be like your career is over. Now I think technology. I don't know if it's technology is catching up because Kevin Durant is able to come back. Sports medicine is improving. I mean, Kevin Durant came back from that. He's still a top player. Literally got, Houston ended up trading for him this weekend. So, and they gave up literally Jalen Green and
Dylan Brooks.
Real quick, how do you feel about that trade?
I think it was a good trade for them. Just in so far as they have other young guys that kind of could replace Jalen Green. Like they got a guy that got drafted super high named Cam Whitmore, who I think is going to be a very good player. Who Jalen Green was kind of in his path. They also got the Thompson, one of the Thompson twins, Amen Thompson, and he had kind of a big year last year in terms of improvement. He took a big leap. So I think this year, he's in line for another big leap. Probably offensively, they probably want to let him do more offensively. So bringing a guy like who better to help you improve offensively than a guy like KD, kind of be your mentor, take some of the burden off you. But also, KD is a guy that he doesn't need the ball a whole bunch. That's the thing about KD. They always say you can literally drop KD on any team and he's going to be effective because he doesn't need the ball a whole bunch. He's highly efficient. He can score from all 3 levels, and he's always been a pretty solid defender. So I think it's a good move for them, especially going from what they were last year to the number 2 seed this year. And what they needed was somebody with some experience, somebody that can be kind of a shot maker in those close games. And Golden State had it, and they didn't. So that's why they ended up losing that series. So if they had a little bit more experience. And a guy that was a little bit more better of a shot maker in those clutch situations, I think they could have pulled that series out. And after that, you kind of don't know what would have happened.
But it's crazy though, because Durant, he's up there in age. He's kind of getting up there in age, but they kind of literally 5 second-round picks, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, top 10 pick. You know what I mean? They're kind of going all in right now. They're like, hey, let's try to see if we can win a ring within the next year or two with Kevin Durant and what we got. But is Jalen Green going to be a 6-man now? Is he going to be one of them talented players but can't figure it out? Because I remember him in the playoffs where he kind of struggled a little bit. Where, he played well and then he just didn't play well. He just overall didn't play well. in the playoffs. But I think that's just experience, though. But that's just me.
Yeah, it depends. Honestly, I don't know if Phoenix keeps him. I think Phoenix is going to flip him and he's going to go somewhere else. To be real with you, and they're going to try to get some other assets,
That's
or
crazy, though.
probably maybe package them with something else to kind of give themselves some salary cap flexibility. Just because Bradley Beal's on the team, he's got a huge number. Obviously Devin Booker is there. He's got a huge contract number as well. So they kind of need some depth on that team. That was their issue last year. They actually they had good starting lineup. They had absolutely no depth. So maybe they moved Jalen Green to somewhere else for like a couple of pieces to kind of help fill out the roster. So it would be a little bit more balanced. But Jalen Green's a good player. I mean, I don't see him like being the number one. Yeah, I don't see him being the number one on the team that does a lot. But I think he'll be like he'll be a good player.
Oh, okay, so you don't see him as number 2 on a good team?
Possibly number 2. That's like kind of his ceiling. Like he'll be the number 2 on the. I'm trying to think who is. Like I don't want to say. That's
obviously, Houston doesn't feel that way. The Suns don't feel that way. So if the Suns trade him, that's hella disrespectful.
Yeah, it's hella disrespectful. I'm trying to think like what's his equivalent. Because I don't want to say Kyrie because he's not as good as Kyrie.
Like J.R. Smith? Is he gonna be like a J.R. Smith?
I like him better than J.R. I think he'd be better than J.R. Smith
because he's athletic. He's athletic, but if teams are trading you away, then they're kind of saying like, "Hey, we don't trust you," or they just don't feel like you're gonna be that star or whatever the case may be. That's why I'm like, all right, he kind of seems like they might push him to that role. Like, all right, maybe he could carve out a role as a 6-man. But I mean, that's kind of extreme right now because he was a starter with Houston. He's a young player, athletic, yada, yada, yada. But it's crazy, though, how just stuff can just switch up on you just like that. But Smoke, man, speak of Genty, he says he better chill with those Pier 39 street performance backflips. If you know, you know.
That's got to be some Bay Area talk.
Yeah, man. It's just he's doing the most, man. He's just doing the most, doing all types of crazy stuff, or I guess something to compare to is like Vegas. You go to Vegas, how to be hella street performers, just doing all sorts of crazy stuff. We
got that out here. Yeah, it's Venice Beach out here.
Oh yeah, Venice Beach. That's a good comparison. Yeah. There you go. But yeah, now speaking of Genty, the odds, Fox Sports released odds, which are actually based off of, I think, where they get the odds from? I think they got it from Sportsbook here. But anyways, the betting odds for NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year were pulled up, and I think you brought this to my attention, Severe, and Ashton Genty is a favorite right now. As of right now, things could change. Preseason is when you can really all right, this is the prediction before the season starts. But right now, plus 250.
Yes.
Ashton Genty is number 1, followed by Cameron Ward at plus 350. Go ahead and share this so y'all can see what I'm saying. Let's see right here. Y'all see that? All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, Amari Hampton. But looking at the last, let's see if you look at the previous winners, Jane Daniels, CJ Stroud, Garrett Wilson, Jamar Chase, Justin Herbert, Kyle Murray. The last time a running back won it was in 2018. That was Saquon. He went number 2. So maybe that's a sign that, hey, maybe Genty's going to win it maybe this year because, Genty's the highest picked running back since Saquon picked at number 2. Alvin Kamara won it in 2017. I'm like, damn, Kamara was a rookie the year before Saquon got drafted. I was like, oh, okay, that's.
Yeah, he was a 3rd round pick too.
Yeah. But it's kind of been either quarterback or wide receiver. If you just look at the list.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham in 2014.
Josh Jacobs should have won in 2019, to be honest with you. Josh Jacobs should have won it. They kind of robbed him. Yeah, they kind of robbed Josh Jacobs 2019, but it's still, that's only a year after Saquon, so it's still.
I ain't gonna lie, man. This is the bias in me. I mean, Jane Daniels obviously deserved to win it, but I was like, damn, Brock. He played like the rookie of the year. He got
like second place. He got what he. I think he got what he deserved, bro. He got. Yeah. Jane Daniels took a team that was. He took a team that picked number two overall to being a top 4 team in the NFL.
If it was any other year, bro, if it was any other year, it's Jane Daniels. Like Jane Daniels he just like checked every box. Like quarterback, had a productive rookie season, led him to the playoffs. A team that wasn't expected to even go to the playoffs. Like there's nothing you do. But at some point in the season though, people were like, Bo Nix, like, oh, come on, bro.
No,
that's shit that get me mad though. The Bo Nix shit when they were comparing them, I was like, come on, man, it's not even close.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Jane Daniels, okay, but Bo Nix, come on. It is what it is. But I mean, how do you feel about the odds, man? Do you feel like it makes sense? Do you think Genty is a favorite? Do you feel like he should be rightfully so the favorite right now, or do you think that is there another player in mind that you feel like would be a favorite going into the season?
I think he's a really good choice. And just on the outside looking in, surface level, and this is based on sports books are essentially based on the odds makers, which is based on some historical data and what they see the public doing. And the fact that Genty is a running back obviously has a lot of heat on his name for being a Heisman finalist, being at the running back position, which is supposed to be the position that most seamlessly translates from college to the NFL. He's also going to a coach in Pete Carroll that likes to run the ball, an offensive coordinator in Chip Kelly that likes to run the ball, to a team that's going to be desperate to run the ball because we didn't run the ball last year. So on the outside looking in, it makes a lot of sense. The guy I have kind of circled is I have Omarion Hampton circled. Just because you think about how effective the run game was last year for the Chargers when they had J.K. and Gus Edwards healthy. We all know Harbaugh loves to run the ball. I think they have a very good offensive line. Joe Alt, Rashawn Slater, Zion Johnson, like they got a really good offensive line already. And they got an offensive coordinator that likes to run the ball too. So I think this Omarion Hampton, I think that's a guy where it's like, I think he could do some damage.
I thought you was going to say Travion Henderson. That's what I thought you was going to say. But
I would, but I don't know if he's going to. I don't know if he's going to be the lead back, and that's it. I think Ramondre Stevenson is going to be the lead guy. So I don't know if he'll be able to do enough, with Ramondre Stevenson there.
Yeah. Now I think it makes sense that Genty is a little bit more clear. He's going to get the ball. The Raiders are going to run the ball. Chip Kelly, that's what the type of offense he wants to run. And then you don't know what Cameron Ward's going to look like with the Titans. Travis Hunter, what position is he playing? Omarion Hampton, another running back where you can see look, Jim Harbaugh, that's what he wants to do. He wants to run the football. His offensive coordinator, I'm forgetting his name. He's had him with Greg Roman. That's his MO. Back his days with Jim Harbaugh with the 49ers, with the Ravens, he's always kind of figured out he's always had a good running game. After that, maybe Tetero McMillan. Maybe McMillan. I mean, he might be a little dark horse. Possibly. With the way the quarterback Bryce Young has kind of taken a little bit of a leap. He's gotten better. Maybe possibly. Yeah. Judkins could be a dark horse too, underrated right now because what the Browns are going to want to do. They're going to run the football, but I think him and Dylan Sampson are going to be sharing carries. But obviously they drafted him in the second round, so he's going to be the lead dog in that situation. Man, I agree, man. Ashton Genty, I mean, he should be the favorite right now, but we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. But yeah, let's get to a few super chats, and then we got moving along real quick. My guy, man, Raider Rich 89 in the building, man. Appreciate you supporting the show, man. My guy, man. He says, do you think Genty will break JJ's record of 229 rushing yards in his rookie year? Ooh.
No.
That was against Seattle, right? When he ran that much? I think that might have been a Seattle game.
Was it Seattle as a rookie? I don't recall.
No. Like that's his rushing record. Like I don't.
JJ's rush. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about as a rookie. How much you ran as a rookie? Oh, okay. Oh well, no. Would he break 229? I know. It's not saying he couldn't, but it's just. I don't think it's gonna happen this year.
Man, I don't know, man. It's a little bit of like I don't know what to expect from Genty. I want to see what it looks like in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. Just the odds of it happening is like astronomical. Like just looking at it, just mathematically.
I will say this though, Severe. I know one of the questions you had was with Genty, he breaks a lot of tackles. That's what he did in college. Will that translate in the NFL? You know, but my thing is too, I was talking to someone about this and they made a good point, is like at the end of the day, like the NFL has a tackling problem. You know, they have an issue with tackling. You know, obviously with the, you know, off-season you know, workouts kind of limited and new rules, and you know, you can't have as many like physical practices as you know, like they did back in the day. So tackling has been an issue for a while. And now you give the NFL or you give the Raiders a guy that like that's his bread and butter. Is like, hey, it don't matter if you try to tackle me. I'm gonna break it, and there's nothing you could do. So, man, if he does this, bro, this is on some Adrian Peterson. He's having an Adrian Peterson type rookie season. If he rushes 220, if he breaks his record, if he's doing this his rookie year, if he does this, I'm telling you, bro.
You know what Adrian Peterson did his rookie year, right?
No. But look, because I know you're gonna try to you're gonna try to like compare every little thing. What I'm saying is, if he's breaking Josh's rookie rushing record, not Josh's rookie record, his rushing record, I think of his career of 229 yards, which was with the Raiders. And I think it was the Seattle game. And he does it as a rookie. Like that means he's having a Adrian Peterson like impact for the Raiders. Like not what he did exactly. I can't predict that right now because that's Hall of Fame. He had a Hall of Fame worthy season. Did he rush for 2,000 yards his rookie year?
I don't know.
Because he had like,
but he broke. No, I don't think he rushed for 2,000 yards, but probably like 1,800. But he broke the NFL record for rushing as a rookie.
Yeah.
So he put up 296, and he could have put up 300 if the coach would have let him. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I wouldn't say he's having a great year. If he's doing that, he's having a great year. And it's also not a great thing because it's like, damn, if we need him to run for 229 yards, or if the other backs are so ineffective that like we have to give him the ball that much. Because ideally, you don't want to run your rookie, running back, especially like he's a smaller guy. You don't want to run him into the ground like that as a rookie.
Oh, damn. Then he only rushed for 1,300 yards his rookie year, which is good.
Oh, 13? Okay, I thought it was more than that. Well, where did he rush for his second year then? It was like 18?
17.
Okay, maybe it was the second year I'm thinking about.
17.
But yeah, so how many games did he play his rookie year though?
Damn, he's kind of had like a random. So he goes for 1,300. This is Adrian Peterson, by the way. He rushes for 1,300 yards his rookie year. His second year rushes for 1,700. 2009, 1,300, almost just under 1,400. 2010, 1,300. 2011, 970. 2012, 2,000 yards, almost 2,100 yards. 1,200 yards in 2013. 75 in 2014. I think he got hurt, obviously. then like 1,400. Like he's kind of he has some highs and he has some kind of mids and then lows. It's kind of random.
I think he's injured. Like, how many games is he playing? That's the thing. Because I think he was banged up a lot. He was banged up coming out of Oklahoma. So I remember that draft class. I want to say, was it a knee? He had some kind of injury coming out of Oklahoma. I recall.
So looking at that 2,000 yard season that happened
after he came back from injury, right?
Nah, damn, that's crazy because he had 970 yards. 970 yards. He played 12 games. And then the following year, he had the 2,000 yard season. So when he got hurt, he was on pace to go get 1,000 yards, probably more than 1,000 yards.
He's gonna be more than 1,000, yeah.
But then if you think about it, damn, he recovered fast.
Cause he was going, that's when he turned around. People were like, bro, like what? That was the ACL year. So he was gonna put up. Now he almost put up 1,000 yards in 12 games. So he was cooking that year.
Damn, that was hella fast. He played 12 games. So then 12 game. So he tore his ACL in November?
Yeah, something like that.
Damn. That's sometime in November, maybe early December. And then comes back and plays.
Probably late November, mid to late November.
Comes back the following season, plays 16 games. Starts 16, plays basically 2,100 yards. He had 2,097 yards. And he could have broke Eric Dickerson's record.
Yeah.
He could have broke that. But, he sat out or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they set him down because they kicked the field goal to win the game instead of letting him break the record. Yeah.
But shout out to Raider Rich, man. I'm basically saying Genty's gonna have a great season if he does this. You know what? I could see it. I can see it. I mean, if you rush for 229 yards your rookie year,
yeah,
you balling, bro. You're doing something right.
Yeah,
you're doing something right.
He could have an outlier performance, but I expect him to have a really good rookie season and not do that. But he could do that and not have him be like trash. Nick Foles threw for 7 touchdowns in the game one time. Like he was bummy the rest of the year, low key. So.
Well, I thought Jacobs had a good rookie season.
Yeah, he had really good. I thought he should have been offensive rookie of the year.
Like when I was watching him play, I was like, damn, like this dude is legit. Like he looks like a legit starting running back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say Genty's gonna break it. I'm gonna say Genty's gonna break it. I'm betting on Chip Kelly, man. That's what I'm betting on. It's not really Genty. The combination of Genty and Chip Kelly. I want to see that. I want to see what that looks like. Because you know, Pete Carroll want to run the ball. You know, Chip Kelly want to run the ball. Yeah. So we'll see.
They picked him for a reason. They didn't pick him to sit him down.
Right. But we got Mike Lopez with the super chat. He says, if Wilkins decides not to restructure his $99 million deal, what business decision do we make? He's owed $37 million in 2026, $33 million in 2027. We must resign Miller and Jacoby.
Yeah.
Let's actually let me see what he's guaranteed. Let me look at what he's guaranteed. Christian with spot track.
Yeah, he has some pretty big cap hits from what I recall in those next 2 years. So I mean, it would be, from what I recall, looking at it, it would be very painful to move off of him. So and I don't know what kind of ramifications it would have against the cap if we traded him, because I think we did add some void years to his deal, so it could end up being some dead money if we trade him. So yeah, we're low key between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, they're stuck with them. until next couple seasons. Unless they want to like basically bite the bullet, like, you know.
Yeah.
What is that? That was it like that veteran? What's that thing where they split their contract in half, or that year in half? The next.
Oh
couple
yeah.
They split the year into 2 years. Like they split it out.
Yeah,
I think it's.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
It's like June 1st, the June 1st thing.
Yeah, post June 1st. Yeah,
post New Jersey. Yeah,
but even then, though.
Even then, that's still going to be a lot. But then after the 2026 season, it says potential out 2027, 3 years, dead cap hit, 19 mil. Golly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew, this is a tough contract.
Yeah, I was saying, man, yeah, man.
Like, he has to stay healthy. Like, he needs to get healthy. He needs to get healthy. Yeah, it looks like the Raiders are going to be stuck with him. No one's going to trade for this. Raiders got to be like, should we pay him to go away? But I don't think they're at that point. It's like, we got to see. They're like, at this point, they got to see if they can get something out of him, like if he has any type of talent. Because you don't want to pay him to play somewhere else and he's playing well. That's just a bad look.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a bad look.
Especially after he's given like the proper time to recover, and he comes back and he starts buying. Like, you've already paid a lot of money. And I think they just restructured his contract this last year too, which is part of the reason why like we're in those last 2 years are like so financially painful to get rid of him. That's why, like, one thing about Reggie McKenzie is that he was good as hell at structuring contract, or whoever was a cap guy back then, I forgot, but they were good about structuring contracts because all the contracts would be front loaded. So after them first 1-2 years, if you was trash, we can get you up out of there. Like, you would thought we would learned our lesson after Corey Littleton. We were paying Corey Littleton for like 4 years after we got rid of him, right? And you know, like, we came back and we did the same thing with Christian Wilkins, where, you know, and then we did the restructure, and that just made it even more painful on us as an organization in a year where we had plenty of cap space. So it's like I don't know, man.
But you know, it's funny. Hindsight is 2020, but at the time, you know, everybody was like, "Oh man, we finally addressed a big need by getting Christian Wilkins." But going back to Telesco, who's no longer here, one of the things that he had issues with was obviously picks after the first couple of rounds, and then also signing. He left the Chargers in cap hell.
Yeah, he did.
He signed a lot of big time deals, and then when he got fired, like the Chargers were in cap hell. Like, they really couldn't do anything as far as sign players. I think they might have freed up some space since he's been gone, but now the Raiders are kind of dealing with the contract that he kind of like was able to agree with Christian Wilkins. But, you know, I'd be lying to you and say like, man, I'm mad that we got Christian Wilkins, but it's just like, damn, like, when a player is hurt and they're like literally not even into their second year, them contracts, those are like, man, that sets you back. Yeah, facts. That sets you back. Man. But hey, let's move it along, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Man, it's that time, man. It's that time, man. It is flag on the play.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
Severe, man, you want to get an intro to the first flag on the play?
Yeah, the first flag on the play is, you know, hey, when you're an NFL superstar, it's hard to lead a regular life. You know, you always got people coming up to you asking to take pictures, asking for autographs, you know, want to talk to you about their fantasy team and what you did or you didn't do for them in their league. So, you know, sometimes you just want to be left alone. And there was a situation where, you know, star wide receiver, now highest paid receiver in the league, Jamar Chase, he was on an airplane. He just wanted to be left alone. And unfortunately, a fan who tried to get an autograph kind of ruined that for him.
Oh,
snitching.
Is this a clip that you sent?
Yeah, it's one of them. Yeah, the Jamar Chase one.
Yeah, let me pull this up. Let me pull this up. Let me pull up this clip, man. I didn't see the clip that you sent.
Oh, you didn't see it?
Yeah, I don't think you sent it.
I sent it on Twitter, on what's it called, on X. I think you said flag. I thought you said flag when I sent it. Where is that?
No, I think it was Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins, I put flag. I didn't get that.
I didn't send you the hold up. Oh dang, I didn't. Oh, I didn't send it to. Or maybe it's not IG either.
Oh, let me check. Let me check IG. Hold on.
Let's see.
Bear with us, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Oh damn, I didn't send it to you. Okay, damn, I thought I sent it to you. Let me see. Let me grab it real quick.
Yes, send it on X. Let's hit up the chat real quick, man. Smoke says, I hope Genty succeeds. Don't get me wrong, but I can't forget that Penn State game where their boys laid a wood on his ass. Pause. Yeah, but it's kind of tough, bro, because I think he did finish with 100 yards, and at the end of the day, like, what is Boise State compared to a Penn State team? You know what I mean? Like, they literally, like, he was just a one-man show, but he was out there, man. He still got his.
Sent.
All right, let me see. All right, let's see what Jamar Chase was dealing with.
Got Raiders for Chris.
Everybody say hi to Jamar Chase on your way out. He don't sign autographs though. I'm sorry.
I listen to people.
Yeah, I think at one point the guy says you should have signed that auto, and I wouldn't have blown your cover. So,
man,
if you see Jamar Chase, he's on the airplane. He's sitting by the window. He's got his hood on, covering his face. He's on his phone. He's trying to be incognito. He's trying to be as normal as he can in that situation. And dude blows his cover because he wouldn't give him an autograph.
Yeah, but like, why would he? Yeah, man, that's why are you? That's a grown man. Like, why are you trying? You're complaining that a grown man is not signing an autograph. I mean, it's whatever. I understand their memorabilia is there's a business in that, so I understand like
exactly
like people actually make money off that stuff, but at the same time, like if someone's like, hey, they can't do it, then just keep it pushing.
Yeah. And he's not owed that either. It's not like, bro, I don't owe you my signature. Like,
he seems hella entitled. Like, well, you're not getting me autograph. Oh my god.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that probably part of the reason why he didn't sign the autograph is that if somebody sees you signing an autograph and taking pictures, what's the first thing you're gonna do? Oh, who's that guy? Oh, who is he? And then you got a whole bunch of other people asking you questions when you just want to be left alone. Like, that's the whole purpose is I want to be left alone. And so you ask me for this autograph, I'm signing it. All that's going to do is draw more attention to me. And now I'm signing 12 autographs for all these other people. Like, I'm not here to do this. I'm here to catch a plane, go where I'm going, get off, and handle my business.
I guess, that's definitely flag on the play, man. Definitely flag on the play. I never understood like people entitled to stuff like this, but it just takes a whole different mindset, which I can't understand. But we gonna call it flag on a play. We gotta call it how we see it, man. But we're not done yet. We got another flag on a play. We got some honorable mentions too. But let's go to the next flag on the play severe, man. What's going on with this one?
Going on with this one, man. Hey, you know what? It's a guy we most of us grew up watching. You know, probably one of the most talented offensive players we've ever seen. 6'7", with the handle, can shoot. You know, can pull up from anywhere. Athleticism. Vince Carter's cousin. You know, was a killer with Yao Ming.
I thought we were going with Kenny.
Going with I thought you wanted to go with T-Mac.
Hey, look, we could do it. We could do all three. But let's
Okay.
Let's
Go with T-Mac. I know you said it was interesting conversation.
Right.
Obviously, you know, T-Mac, he never achieved the postseason success that a lot of his peers had achieved, and now, due to that fact, you know, he's been saying some very interesting things about, you know, quote unquote ring culture in the NBA, and he wasn't the first person to say this. You know, some other people have said it in the past. You know, most recently LeBron has said something to the same effect as well. But there's some interesting comments from one Tracy McGrady.
Put in that position we have too many talented players that come through this league that are championship worthy. What I mean by that, if you take them off a team that is a championship quality team, replace me with Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship. You don't think I could carry the Lakers to a championship? Like, I've never had the opportunity.
Correct.
I felt like if I was put in that position to win a championship, I damn sure would show up and do what I do in the playoffs to elevate my team to that level. I just never had the chance. So do I get diminished because I never won a championship?
Right. Yeah, that's what.
Is it my fault?
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Right. Is it my fault? Right. I was never put in that position, Steve.
And then adding another layer onto it, T-Mac. Then you have players that start saying, okay, no, now I got to be a de facto GM. Huh? Now I have to be a de facto
and that creates
GM.
the ring
Now I got to find.
Because now players are going everywhere because.
All right, man. I can't stand sometimes people, but. Man, this is a flag, man, on T-Mac, man. Great player, one of my favorite players of all time. Him and Kobe, their battles, like I used to love watching T-Mac and Kobe go at it. I mean, they used to be, you could tell, like, super competitive, top two guards in the league. But at the end of the day, what you did on the court and what you put out there your whole career, that's what we're gonna go by. That's what happened. I mean, all right, if you want to talk about facts, what he fails to mention at the end, it's not like T-Mac was one game away from the NBA Finals, or he was he played in a couple of game sevens. He literally could not get out of the first round in the Eastern Conference.
Exactly.
And I'm not even talking about this. I'm not even talking about or the Western Conference, which he had a better team in. With the Rockets.
Yeah.
So my thing is at the end and people, when I say Eastern Conference, maybe it might not be. I still think the West is probably still better than the East. It still holds true. Probably even today, but I think back then, man, if you were just a great player, it was almost automatic you're going to go to playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a great player, you're going to go to playoffs. Like, LeBron, there's a reason why he went to, like, we're keeping it real. There's a reason why he went to, like, 7-8 straight finals. Would he have done that in the Western Conference? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think he would have. It would have been like he would have went to the finals. He's a great player, but, like, it would have been tougher. Like,
it would have been tougher.
You know what I mean? It would have been a tougher road. Like, you would have to have a good team. You can't just not have. You just can't, like, get by like just being great. Yeah, I felt like he kind of did that with the Cavs, and he can get away with that, and, like, kind of cover up some of their weaknesses. But to go back to T-Mac couldn't get out of the first round with the Orlando Magic, and in a weak Eastern Conference, goes to the Western Conference, goes to Houston, teams up with Yao Ming, who, a lot of people remember Yao Ming when they like, oh, Shaq dunked on him, like, his first few times, but, like, Yao Ming was actually pretty good.
He was a really good player.
He was a good player. And it was a good, him and T-Mac were a good little 1-2 combo but injuries did play a part. But at the end of the day,
you remember what ended his career, right?
Foot.
Stress fractures in his foot. Yeah.
Yep. It's a foot injury. Yeah, man. Yeah. Foot injury. So at the end of the day, and he never got out of the first round. I think the only time he went out of the first round, this is when he was like with the Spurs, I think. And he might have, and he was like
he wasn't getting any run.
He wasn't getting he wasn't sniffing nothing. He was just getting like maybe I don't know, maybe a couple of claps on the bench or something like that. That's about it, bro. Like he wasn't getting anything. My point is that like T-Mac is leaving a little bit apart. Like he's not telling the whole story. Yes, was he talented? Maybe as talented as Kobe, if not more talented, possibly. Yeah, you can argue that. Yeah. Dude was like 6'8", 6'9", could handle, smooth, could shoot, play defense, can pass, like the best of them. He was talented, no doubt. Like one of the best two guards. I think it's kind of messed up that they left him out of the top 75. I think he wasn't included in that, which I think he's one of the top 75 players. But it speaks to his career. Yeah. You know what I mean? He didn't get the accolades as compared to other players. But I think he should have been top. I think he should have been top 75 though.
I think he should have been top 75 too.
He should be top. I mean, come on, man. T-Mac was legit. Man.
I think Dwight Howard should have been top 75 as well.
Dwight Howard should have been. How many Defensive Player of the Year awards did Dwight Howard have? He took his team to the finals. Yeah. Like, come on, man. I don't know. That was weird. That was weird. But my point is that he tried to make it seem like, oh, if you put a great team, if you put a team around me, I would have definitely won a championship. Come on, bro. Yeah. Nah, you can't say it with 100% confidence. I don't think you can say that with 100% confidence. I don't think you can say that. And I'm not knocking him as a player. It's just the truth. Like, at least, like, if you've shown that you could actually get past the first round, or at least make a deep playoff run with a team that was good around you, like the Houston Rockets. He didn't do that.
Yeah. At all. And like I said, I feel what he's saying, because I don't think like not winning a ring doesn't fully take away from your greatness, because there are some great players that that didn't win rings, right? Clyde, Dominique, Charles. There are some great players that never got that opportunity or never in that position. Karl Malone, John Stockton, like those guys never won rings. So, and there are players who are lesser than them that have won rings. So I understand what he's saying at that point, but once you get to like a certain level, then that's when they start to separate. Hey, do you have the hardware or don't you? And in T-Mac, he's not even really in the conversation, because he didn't even have playoff success, as you said. Never made it out of the first round as like one of the primary players. He was up 3-1, I want to say, on the Pistons. That was Doc Rivers. That's when Doc Rivers has a reputation for not being able to hold series leads. So Doc Rivers had that 3-1 lead with the Magic over Detroit, I want to say. And I remember like after they won the third game in the series and they were up 3-1, like after the game, he was interviewing with the reporter and he's like, it feels good to finally make it out of the first round. And then they end up losing. So, like it's crazy stuff like that, where it's like, like it's that conversation can't come from T-Mac. It has to come from somebody else.
I don't know, man. And I don't like that players, because I've been listening to some of these players talk about like, man, like if I was in the right situation. I do think that like, being in the right, I think it takes more than one player to win a championship. Obviously, you got to have the right coach. You got to have the right players around you. I get that 100%. But there's certain players that are winners. I don't know why. Certain players, they just win. They just win. They just happen to win. You know what I mean? They just win. Like LeBron, he's won. Kobe's won. D Wade won. Now, were there circumstances where that helped? Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah. But they were great players who were able to put it together at some point. You know what I mean? It wasn't always perfect, but T-Mac, his whole career, he didn't win. He put up like flashy numbers. He was a talented player, but I don't know, man. I think it kind of took a shot at Kobe, you know, a little bit, like
a little bit, yeah.
Kind of did take a shot by saying like, oh, if you put me there, no, it's not no automatic, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, what have you proven in your career that would show that you would win with another player? Like, the closest would have been T-Mac would have been with Yao Ming.
Yeah.
But, you know, you couldn't beat Dallas in the first round. Dallas took care of business against you. You did have a nice dunk over, I remember Bradley. It was Bradley. He had like a nice little highlight dunk.
Oh, Sean Bradley?
Sean Bradley. I mean, I think there were times where he was going against the Utah Jazz. Yeah. You couldn't beat Utah Jazz with the Houston Rockets. You were the Houston Rockets that you couldn't beat the Utah Jazz, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. Darren was a bad boy.
Darren was, but like, man, come on, man. But you know, it is what it is. I don't even want to make this argument. It's hard for me to make this argument because I know T-Mac. I'm not arguing the talent of T-Mac. We all remember the 13 points in like 35 seconds. Averaged 32 points that year in 2002. You know, I think that's the year a lot of people are bringing up. Oh yeah, the 2002 season. You can't tell me that he wasn't just as good, if not better than Kobe. Like, hey, but that year that they're talking about, he averaged 32. Kobe averaged 30. Kobe that year had 9 straight games of 40-point games, and I think Kobe won a championship that year. You know, like it's just a disrespect, bro. It's like, and I think a lot of it has to do with, and I think there's gonna be a theme too. Another honorable mention is Chris Canty, but I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of people are trying to have like wow factor takes. They're trying to say something where it grabs your attention, where you're gonna be like, what? I can't believe he's saying that. You know, and I think that might have something to do with it because I think, T-Mac, I don't know if you noticed, like he's kind of active on social media and stuff like that. So he goes on, national media, go on First Take, and he's there talking about like, yeah, man, like if I was in, ring, he talks about ring culture, which the conversation actually started with LeBron, but he talks about it and he kind of brings it and he talks about himself, and it is what it is, man. I just flag on the play on T-Mac, man. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. And what I didn't like too, everybody was just agreeing like, yeah, man, yeah, T-Mac would have won with Shaq. I'm like, for real? You think that's 100%? And the reason why I say the reason why I'm saying that it's not 100% is because remember when LeBron came to when he decided to go to Miami. He had a big, huge pressure. What did he say? Not 1, not 2, not 3. Yeah. And what happened? Yeah. He got embarrassed his first year. I mean, let's be honest. Like there was high expectation. Everybody expected him to win the championship his first year. He loses against Dallas, I think his first year.
Yeah, lost against Dallas.
He wins back to back with Miami eventually, but like. Yeah. It was a process. It wasn't a guarantee. Like everybody handed the championship and it didn't work out like that. And that's LeBron James. Yeah. LeBron James, people are arguing is the greatest, if not number 2, or you know what I mean? Like, I know everybody's discussing where he's at, but to me, he's at least top 5, top 3, like player of all time. Yeah. So, man, I don't know, man. It's just the fact that no one's out there like actually. Like, what are you smoking crack?
Yeah. And then they always bring up the Shaq thing. Like, Kobe didn't go to 3 straight finals, win 2 of them with 2 finals MVPs after Shaq. Like they always conveniently forget that.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's playing that what if game. That what if game is so like what are you saying? Like fanboy podcast says Penny Hardaway injury hurts his career too. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, definitely. Penny was
you know what I mean?
Penny was
nice. Grant Hill.
You
know what I mean? Like
Brandon Roy.
I don't think he was as talented as the the T-Max and the Penny Hardways. Like I don't think he's as talented or Grant Hill. Like they were like, but Brandon Roy was like, man, he was good, bro. He was nice. Brandon Roy was like the Damian Lillard. I don't want to say compared to Damian Lillard, but he just was smooth and just not like clutch. Yeah. He just had that. He had a nice game, but not everyone was a key player on those championship teams either. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Let me know, man. Kobe would have shot down. Yeah, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, I think there's a lot of I don't want to say hate, but it's pretty much the same thing. Envy, maybe. Same thing.
Yeah. I think that's part of it. But it's easy to talk. I mean, it's easy to say stuff about Kobe now because Kobe ain't really around to defend himself.
Because he'll be able to bring up some stuff and be like, "What?" But it's not even about just Kobe. It's just like, just peep what they're saying. What if? Yeah. A lot of what they're saying is, "Oh, if I had this, if I didn't do that." I'm like, yeah. But we could say the same thing about Michael Jordan. If like, hey, Michael Jordan didn't run into this team, or if Charles Barkley had this guy,
if James Worthy doesn't get hurt in that first finals, or Byron Scott and James Worthy don't get hurt in that first finals, or if Magic Johnson didn't have AIDS at that time when he's playing, like, you feel me? Like he so it's a lot of ifs, man. It's a lot of ifs.
Yeah, it's the what if game, man. The what if game is crazy. That's what T-Mac is doing. He's doing that what if game, and like people are getting mesmerized. Like, oh yeah, you would have won a championship. Yeah, you would have won. Like, nah, don't do that. Don't hand people championships that they never earned. Like, you act like T-Mac was hurt his whole career. You act like T-Mac was like he lost. You act like T-Mac was the '90s Bills, where they were in the Super Bowl and they literally lost every time they, what was it, 4 times? They went to the Super Bowl 4 times in the 90s?
4 straight times, yeah. 4 straight times.
4 straight times. You act like T-Mac was doing that. He was losing in the first round, and that's it. He was up 3-1. And I'm not saying, you can't lose in the first round. What I'm saying is that's what he's shown. Why can't people just go off what he's shown? Like at least if this would have, I guess it would have sounded a little bit better if like AI said it. If AI said it, I would have been like, you know what? AI did take his team to the finals. He took a Sixers team where I'm not gonna lie, like, had no business, but being in the finals, man, you could argue like, just cause like when you compare them to like the Lakers, it was like, bro, like, what are they doing? Like, they shouldn't even be. But that's what it was back then. Like, that's how bad the Eastern Conference was. If you had a superstar, it was almost guaranteed that you were gonna go to the playoffs and also possibly make a deep playoff run. That's why, like, I always wondered, like, T-Mac, like, why he couldn't get past the first round. I know you could probably argue, well, he didn't have the right players. Well, I'm like, I don't know, man.
Magic were kind of sad. He should have stayed in Toronto, but that was his mistake. So it would have been him and Vince, but he wanted the spotlight.
Coach, yeah, I think LeBron is top 5 for me.
LeBron definitely top 5, man. LeBron definitely top 5. Man.
But Kobe is in my top 5. LeBron is in my top 5. A lot of my top 5 people in my top 5 are guys that I actually seen play. So, anybody who's seen other players play, then I'm gonna respectfully, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, I could respect that and walk. But I know other people will project certain players based off their accomplishments, and I'm like, if I ain't never seen you play, it's kind of hard for me to be like, man, I don't know, man. But I just think look, my top 5 I think is LeBron in no particular order: Jordan, LeBron, obviously Kobe, Shaq. Probably Tim Duncan. Probably put Tim Duncan. Akeem though is kind of like right out of that, outside of there too. Akeem is right there. Yeah. But that's just mine. But let's see. You said Tyler Dance, Kobe top 2. Hey, respect.
I can't get mad at that. I mean,
can't get mad at you. T-Mac will be my dude. Like Mike is the best joint, hands down. T-Mac was Gasol and Audemars. With Gasol and Audemars at 8th seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. But Gasol was good though. Gasol and Odom, like, but damn, I don't know, man. I don't know, cause part of what made Kobe, but part of what
a man a joint.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand that.
Put another grown man a joint, nah, bro. He's knock that off, bro.
First of all,
Pause.
Yeah, but T-Mac with Gasol and Odom are in the 8th seed. Yeah. You know what? And then also T-Mac had a lot of injuries too.
Yeah, he
now,
did.
Injuries could be a lot of different reasons. Sometimes it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Certain players are more injury prone, but sometimes it speaks to someone's maybe physical condition. Are they in tip-top shape?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Kobe's work ethic is obviously like known like around the league, like around the NBA. Yeah. So it's like at this point it's legendary. Like people talk about it all the time.
Beyond the NBA.
Yeah. So like he's like Kobe's been hurt, nicked up here and there, but obviously he had a long career for a guard.
Yeah.
But T-Mac, he kind of dealt with injuries. That's another thing, man. Yeah, man, it's crazy. D-Rose, another dude. Yeah, what if D-Rose could be there? He could be there and say like, "Oh, what if I was?" But that's part of like sports, though, man. Sports is kind of like it's messed up like that, where players can get hurt. Certain players play healthy.
Yeah.
Dixon says MJ, Kobe, Kareem, Bill Russell, Shaq, Duncan.
LeBron over Shaq and Duncan. Yeah, LeBron over Shaq and Duncan. Probably over Bill Russell too, to be honest with you. But you know, if you like Bill Russell because it's like legacy type stuff, like Wilt Chamberlain's a better player than Bill Russell. It's just Bill Russell was a better leader. He had better teams, but he's just player for player. Like Bill Russell had the record in the NBA for most rebounds in a game. And then Wilt broke the record. You know who he broke the record against? Bill Russell. He's like, oh, that's nice that you had a record. Now I'm about to take your record from you. Like in those matchups, like Wilt Chamberlain dominated those matchups. Just that Bill Russell always had better teams. He was a better leader. So, you know, like that's why his teams won. But Wilt Chamberlain was hands down. Like the player for player, he was better.
Well, to play devil's advocate, this is what McGrady is trying to say, but he's like the wrong person to say it. He's trying to he's trying to say that like if you put me in a situation where there were better pieces around me, I would have had more success on the court as a team success. So like basically Wilt Chamberlain, like you're saying right now, Wilt Chamberlain, if he played with a better team, he would have won. But you know, it's just T-Mac, man. Like when you couldn't get out the first round, that was like his whole career, bro. He never overcame that.
Yeah,
never. LeBron literally thrived because his free throws. For how big he is, he's got away with offensive fouls basically every other game. Man, people don't like LeBron, huh?
Because people don't like that's what's crazy. Is annoying is that people memory hold the treatment that Jordan got. Like the league that y'all hate now, guess who that started with? That started with Jordan, because the league was trying to protect and project Jordan. So they needed an international superstar, because at that point, you know, when Magic and Bird first got to the league was damn near bankrupt. Like they thought the NBA would fold up. The Magic and Bird rivalry saved the league, and then the popularity of Jordan made the league a global league. So they were protecting their star. There was a year that Jordan averaged 14 free throws a game. And y'all complained about people getting free throws? Like, kill that noise, man. Y'all be killing me with that stuff, man. Like, Jordan is the most protected player of all time. But people just have, it's nostalgic for them. So they forget how much he was how much he was protected. So they memory hold all that stuff. and then to put him on a pedestal. But he got the same treatment these players are getting now that y'all hate. But because he's Jordan, people give him a pass. It's like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, man. And the thing is, every star player too gets the treatment. They've always gotten that treatment. Even Kobe, you know what I mean? Like he's gotten that. You know what I mean? LeBron obviously gets that. Dwayne Wade, all the top players in the league, they get that treatment. It is what it is. Just comes with the territory. We the people.
If a player averaged 14 free throws in this, if a player averaged 14 free throws, people talk about SGA saying he's a foul hunter and he averaged like 8. Imagine if he averaged 14. Nobody said a thing about Michael Jordan. Yeah, they did. Oh, Bramble, yes, they did. Remember, they actually instituted the Jordan rules. That's what they did, that to protect Jordan from the Pistons. Like literally, the Jordan rules were created to protect Jordan from the Pistons who were beating them. And then as soon as they instituted the Jordan rules and stopped them from being as physical, then obviously Jordan wins at that point.
Yeah, man. We the people says they robbed the Kings from a ring. Man, I enjoyed that series.
They did. Well, I don't know if they robbed them from a ring, but they robbed them from winning that series, though.
That was a beautiful series. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I'm
not mad at
it. I hated the Kings.
I'm not mad at it. And if Vlade don't tip that ball out, then the Lakers don't win.
Bruh, I remember seeing that, man. I seen that live, man. Oh man, that was a great game, man. It's a great game. Cause it like literally Kobe takes it in, misses it, Shaq has the ball. I'm like, oh, he's like right there, and then obviously Vlade hits the ball out, thinking that like the time is gonna go out if he just throws it out, I guess. And man, Robert Horry, man, like, dude is most underrated role player. I think at this point I think he's forgotten at this point. He's kind of a little bit forgotten.
Now,
he's forgotten.
It's like a long time. Yeah, it's been a long time he played.
Bro,
but
seven rings.
He might be the greatest role player of all time. Depending on unless you think Draymond's a role player.
Draymond is a role player.
Then Robert Horry's probably second.
Draymond is nothing. He's not even. What is Draymond to you? Draymond is not he's not even an option. Is he an option on offense?
Offensively, no. But it's like, okay, so is Rodman a role player?
Yes.
Because is Rodman top 70? Was he on the top 75 team?
Rodman is he's kind of one of them, like, he's just a random player. Like, you know what I mean? He's like he's all by himself. Like, there's a category all by himself. I don't think, maybe you put Draymond there, I guess. But even then, Rodman is you could argue he's better at doing what he did better than Draymond. Like, he was undersized. I mean, but he was like 6'8", right? 6'8", but he was athletic. He was athletic.
He was crazy athletic. Yeah.
Which made him a great rebounder. Yep.
Yeah.
Great rebounder, great defender. But everything else, like, I ain't gonna lie, like Draymond, he makes Draymond offensively look like Steph.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like, he looked like a skilled basketball player out there, man. Because at least Draymond, like, he can bring the ball up. He initiates the offense.
He's a good passer too.
He knows how to. But the joke is, though, he knows how to pass well to Steph.
Steph, yeah. I mean, that is. Hey, look, that's all it takes.
That's what I'm saying. But then when he got hurt, it was kind of funny because, like, when he was not there on the lineup, you could tell, like, Draymond was like, what do I do here?
Who do I pass to?
Who do I pass to?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it is what it is. Can y'all at some point rank the last 10 or so championship from A to F? Man, nah, man, that's gonna be too much. Oscar, man. Yeah, that's tough, bro. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Maybe another show, man. It is the off season, but we'll think about it. Fanboy, you got Jordan, Magic, Akeem. I feel Akeem was a great player. Tim Duncan, LBJ number 5, Larry Bird. Okay.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that top 5. I mean, I think Kobe should be up there, but I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. Did they protect Jordan from Detroit severe?
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. Yeah, they did. That's the whole reason they started doing it. So Jordan, he couldn't get past the Pistons, and he was losing in the first round. Like, he was getting his ass whipped by the Pistons, and then they started protecting Jordan, and then Pistons got a little bit older as a team, and then that's when he finally broke through and won. But yeah, that's the whole reason. The Pistons was whipping his ass. They was being hella physical with him, and they was winning those series. And then they started calling the game differently, and all of a sudden now Jordan wins.
Dennis Rodman 6'7". Yeah, I mean, I think Draymond's listed at 6'8".
6'8", yeah, he ain't much taller.
Yeah, but Dennis Rodman was way more athletic though. It's the difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, they protect. Blah, blah, blah. Hakeem is a GOAT defender. Yeah, Hakeem was a great defender too. Great defender. Dixon says Dylan Brooks is better than Draymond.
Dixon is being crazy now. That is insanity.
I think Dylan Brooks is better offensively.
Oh yeah, that's easy.
But that's that's not saying a lot though. But I think Draymond in his impact is
that's like saying a quarterback is more mobile than Aiden O'Connell. Like, I think he's more mobile than Aiden. Like, yeah, duh. Like,
see, Draymond. I know, like, it's hard to quantify this, but like, Draymond is a winner.
Yeah,
Draymond is a winner. Is he a number one option? No. Is he a number two option? Hell no. Is he number three? He's not an option. I don't want him to be an option on offense.
Yeah, but, and think about Draymond, and think people don't realize about Draymond is that people think that the Warriors were like Steph's team, and they kind of were, but like Draymond was the leader of that team. Like, Draymond was a leader. Steph was the best player. Draymond was a leader. And same thing when KD went there. When KD went there, like, KD was the best player. Steph Curry is probably the most important player. Draymond was still the leader.
I think Curry was the leader, but he was like lead by example type. Probably not vocal.
Yeah, but when you got when you have a vocal leader, that's like, okay, like, are you really the leader at that point? Like,
because like, if I don't know, man, I like, the leader on the team gotta be the leader on the team. I feel like has to be the best player.
It doesn't have to be the best player.
I think the best player has to be a leader though.
If you prefer him to be a leader.
If he's not, then that's a problem.
You prefer the best player in the team to be a leader, but that's not always the case.
Okay, give me an example when it's not the case, and when it's successful.
I just told you. Go say words.
But Curry is a leader though. He leads by example.
I don't think he's a leader. I think, but that's not really lead. I mean, that's not really leading to me.
That's how
you're not a guy that's like.
That's how you lead. You're not supposed to lead with your words. You're supposed to lead with your actions.
You're supposed to lead through both. Because if I just do the right thing all the time, that doesn't necessarily like what they say is that if you think you're a leader but nobody's following you, then you're just taking a walk. So you have to tell people, yeah, yo, this is what we're doing. This is the path. You can watch me, and then they do it. If you just doing it and nobody's like doing it with you, are you a leader? Nah. You're not a leader. So you have to actually bring people along with you. And
I think it says a lot when you are leading by your actions, because that means
that's part of it.
That means whatever you say carries weight. So I don't have to talk a lot. It just people just know that, like, okay, people understand what you're saying is stone cold fact. Yeah, but I don't think you have to be as loud as Draymond though.
You don't have to be as loud as Draymond, but you have to have like more of a voice. Like I said, like KD. KD was never a leader. KD was the best player on that team.
KD's not a leader. That's actually a great example. This is a great example.
He was the best. He was the best player on that team. KD was the best player. Steph Curry was the most important player. And it's not even close. So if you ask who's better, KD or Steph, it's not coming. We're not gonna have this.
That's one of them. It's a good
KD
conversation.
KD's a better player. It's not even really close. Steph Curry may be a greater player because of his accomplishment, but player for player, KD's a better player. He's a better defender.
But what are we
scorer.
saying though? What are we actually saying? He's a greater player because of accomplishments, but how do those accomplishments happen? Because of Steph Curry leading the Warriors to a championship. To 2.
He didn't lead. He wasn't the leader though. That's my point. He was the leader.
What do you mean? Like he won 2 championships without
he won
KD.
He won, yeah, and he won 2 with KD as well. So are we gonna take away those? So are we taking away those championships from Steph? The ones that he won with KD?
Nah. But what I'm saying is that like that team, okay. that team is an example of like plenty of great players. Like that was a stacked team. So you just listed Draymond as a leader, right? You said Draymond as a leader.
Yeah, and even before that, that first championship, it wasn't even Steph. It was Andre Iguodala and Draymond who were the leaders of that team. It wasn't even Steph at that point. It was Iguodala and Draymond. And Steph didn't win the Finals MVP. Steph didn't win the Finals MVP until this last ring. None of those other rings he won the Finals MVP with.
Yeah, but he was the best player on the team though.
But he was trash in the playoffs. He struggled. He was bad.
He was the best player on the team. Like the attention on offense. He wasn't the best player.
He wasn't the best player when KD was there. And he struggled.
But how do you say that he was the most important player then? What does that mean? You said he was the most important player.
I think the offense was built around Steph. The offense was catered to Steph.
So if it's catered to Steph, that means that he had played a big part of those championships, right?
Yeah, I didn't say he didn't play a big part, but KD was the best player. Who won the Finals MVP both years? KD was there. But a team he had no familiarity with. KD.
I think it's a close argument. I think it's a closer argument. I know what you're saying. I think it's a closer argument. You're making it seem like a stone cold fact, but I think it's a closer argument.
It's not even close. Not even close. Okay, we'll put it like this. The year before, that team won 73 games, right? The team won 73 games. I think Steph was the MVP. Who took the final shot to close out the series?
You're asking me who took the final shot to close out the series when
they won the championship.
I don't even.
It was KD. It was a pull up 3. KD won. KD had the ball in his hands.
Man, I mean, come on, bro. Like
it was ran obviously KD.
KD is one of the best offensive players in basketball. Obviously,
if you're the best player, on the team,
and then you got. Look, I'm not arguing. Look, I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue with you and say that like Durant is. But I'm saying it's closer than because you're like making it seem like, oh, this is without a doubt. You got to remember, Durant joined the Warriors. He joined the Warriors. He said, I can't beat y'all. I can't beat Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond, led by Curry. You got to remember that. Like he couldn't do that, so he joined them. So it's like
Yeah,
and then you just mentioned right now, you said the offense was built around who? Not Durant, it was built around Curry. So if it's built around him, that means that everything flows through him. The offense is run through him. So everything so players are getting great looks like the Klay Thompsons, like the Draymonds, the role players, the Iguodalas, all these role players on the team, including the great Kevin Durant, is getting favorable matchups because of the attention that the defense is giving to Curry. But I'm not saying like I don't want to argue. I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying like, oh, Curry is way better than Durant. I'm just saying it's closer. I'm saying that
it's not. I mean,
it's a little closer. It's a little closer.
I'm gonna say
because look at Durant's career. I'm just looking at Durant's career, bro. Like what? Come on, man. Yeah. Like we gotta judge him a little. We gotta like. People kind of look at Durant's the talent of Durant, and I understand like he's talented. It's kind of like almost like a T-Mac a little bit. But at the end of the day, like
he's better than T-Mac though.
I don't think Durant is a good leader too. To be honest with you,
he's not. I mean, that's
why it hasn't worked out for him. I think that's why it hasn't worked out for him. I'm not sure if that's the case for T-Mac though.
But part of that reason is that he's also never really been in an organization that had good culture. So I mean, you know, like Mark Jackson kind of built up the culture with the Golden State Warriors, and Steve Kerr, they took it to the next level.
Bruh, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Hey, I'm telling you, man, Curry. Look, I can understand why someone would say KD's better than Curry. I'm not arguing. I'm like, but it's like
I'm drafting, and that's who I'm drafting. It's KD. Bro.
I don't know, man. But I don't know,
easy.
Man. Like
Easy,
I was knocking.
Easy.
I don't know, man. I think Curry is like. I think Curry's underrated. I think people underrate Curry. People don't know how good he is.
Curry is great. Curry is great. Like this, and look, and this is not to diminish Curry. He's probably top 2 3-point guard of all time. Like this, not to diminish Curry.
He dominates the game by shooting. I've never seen someone dominate. Yeah. Like he's dominating. Like, you know, Shaq, he dominated with his brute force and strength and his ability to move at his size. He was a dominant force. Jordan, at elite athleticism, right? Can get to the rim at will. Great defender. We all know the GOAT, right? Arguably the GOAT. LeBron, his combination of size, speed, athleticism, we get that. But Curry dominates the game with shooting. And then he sprinkles it with his ball handling. He sprinkles it with his underrated ability to finish at the rim. His passing, he can finish at the basket. He can finish at the basket.
But he's not a great finisher around. He's not a great finisher.
Come on, bro. The dude averages like almost 30 points a game every other year. Like, come on, man. Like, look at his averages, bro. How can you score?
Look at KD's averages. Come on, bro. We can't talk. You can't talk about scoring and talk about that. So we can leave that out. Who's a better defender? Kevin Durant. Like like only thing Curry does better than KD is shoot the three, and that's not. You know, that's because he's Curry. He's the best shooter of all time.
Curry's a better shooter, better leader. He's won more championships without who? Without Durant. Durant was a 2-year rental, and he hasn't been able to replicate his success with the Warriors because the Warriors were the successful team, not Durant. Durant couldn't go anywhere else and replicate that success. He tried to do it by going to Brooklyn. He tried to go to Phoenix. He tried to go it. We'll see what he does with Houston at age 38, 37. I don't know what is he approaching 40 years old at this point. Yeah. So
but part of that is culture. Part of that is the Warriors established a winning culture. They already had winners on that team. You know, they already had a nucleus of winning.
Exactly.
With Draymond, with Klay Thompson, with all these other players, with the championship coach and Steve Kerr. Like they had already a winning culture. KD has never, outside of with the Warriors, he's never been in a situation where there was a winning culture. That's important.
See, KD is KD is a perfect example in comparison to like a T-Mac. If T-Mac was able to like have any type of success, I feel like he would have had, because he never was able to capitalize as the guy. Like he like every time he had every opportunity, he could, like every opportunity he had, he couldn't get out the first round. But I'm sure if he went to a team that had established guys on the team, you know, maybe it would have been a different story. Because that's how Durant went to the championships. I mean, Durant
KD made it out the first round though, so I mean it's not the same.
No. What I'm saying is that T-Mac is what KD is. T-Mac would have been if he had any type of success, it would have been like KD, because what I'm saying is that like he never had the success that you would see out of a top guy on a team. He never led a team to the playoffs, or I mean, he never led a team past the first round. So what I'm trying to say is that the only way would it work for T-Mac, it felt like, is if he went to a team that was already established, like a KD. Yeah. KD went, the only time he had any type of success, I mean, he had success with the Thunder.
Exactly. He has it.
With the Thunder. But guess what? The Sam Presti, that man is probably the greatest GM of this generation. Like, it's crazy. Like the fact that he's able to like build a team up. But that's a whole different conversation. But He's had success with the Thunder. I'll give him that. He had success with the Thunder, and I think he went to the finals with Westbrook.
He went to the finals, with that Thunder team. He lost to LeBron. Yeah. That's when LeBron and them figured it out. And then, Westbrook, they were all 21, 22, 23, I think. So they were super young. Then that team broke up. So, they broke up after they lost to first they got rid of Harden. And then they were up 3-1 against the Warriors. And then they collapsed in that series.
Experience is supposed to help you. It's not like no one was knocking the Thunder for losing to the Heat. The Heat went their first year together and lost against the Mavericks, who were a team that they were with each other for a while. The chemistry was crazy. They were just ready to win the championship. And LeBron kind of got exposed a little bit as far as his post game. He got better. Rest is history. Comes back the second year, wins the championship against an inexperienced Thunder team. That Thunder team just never got better. They never could, overcome and go back. They never went back to the finals. Actually, they almost beat the Warriors. That's why a lot of people give heat to the KDs. Damn, you almost beat the team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they collapsed in that series. They just had. People blame Westbrook for that too.
Against who? Against who? Curry.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson and Klay. And the thing about it, the reason why I give respect to Curry, it's bruh, Klay Thompson is good, great shooter, but he's not a one-on-one scorer. He's not a guy that you give the ball to in the fourth quarter. It was a lot of the Warriors' success was built off the attention that the other team was giving Curry, and Curry was just making things happen based off his ability to shoot from anywhere, moving up without the ball. I mean, I don't know, man. I didn't feel like this before. I always give the edge to the more athletic player, the more dominant, physically imposing player. But man, as time goes on, man, I've gained a lot of respect for Curry. That's why I'm saying it's a lot closer than what people think. Yeah, you might, when people probably look at it, you give the edge and who's more talented. Yeah, KD, but it's just man, bro, but KD is not a guy you want to count on to be. I don't think he's a number one guy. I think that he has the talent to be number one guy.
Exactly, yeah.
He has the talent.
He can't be the leader.
But he doesn't have. He can't be the leader.
It's not even that. It's not like I said. That's my point. It's not even the mental, because KD's not a team cancer. He's just not a guy that's going to rally the troops. He's not a guy that's going to be the vocal leader. He's not going to be the voice. He's not going to be that.
Be the voice. I don't know if he.
But yes, you do. He's the perfect example of lead by example. He does that. He works on his game all the time. He's clutch. He does all the right things. He takes care of his, but he does all that good stuff. But he's not going to bring other people along with him. That's my point. He's not a lead voice. But if you put him in a perfect nucleus, or in perfect example, if you put him in the Heat culture with those guys, KD has several championships because that's already an established culture. He's going to win in that environment because they know how to build a team. They know how to build a team around him. Just like Golden State, they knew how to build a team around Curry and to accentuate his strengths. We got a spot up shooter. That's a two-way player. We got one of the most versatile defenders in the league in Draymond Green. We got one of the best role players of all time in Andre Iguodala. We got all these. We got Andrew Bogut, who's a big man that offers you verticality and a presence at the rim. We built the team around him to fit your skill sets that allows you to do what you do well. But KD, you can literally put him in any system and KD's going to do KD things. He's going to work.
I think Curry can go anywhere too, because his ability to shoot, bro, and to move without the basketball. That's another thing. He doesn't need to have the ball in his hands to be dominant.
That's KD as well. That's KD too.
But
he doesn't need the ball in his hands. That's what makes KD so perfect.
But what I'm saying is, you just made a point about KD doesn't need to. You can put him anywhere, but you could do the same thing with Curry. You could do the same thing with Curry, bro. He doesn't need to have. He doesn't have to have. He doesn't have to dribble the ball like Luka Doncic for 23 seconds out of the shot clock that 24 second shot clock to be effective. He could move without the basketball. He can have the ball in his hands. He can run pick and roll.
Yes.
Bro, I don't know, man. I think Curry's underrated, bro. You underrating Curry, man. Like,
I said he's the second.
He won 4 championships,
I
bro.
I said he's the second or third greatest point guard of all time, but he's not a better player than KD. He's just not. He's not.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
He's not a better player than KD.
I don't know, man. Hey, look. Hey, we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to click and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Curry did change the game. Oh no, and whoever said that, Curry changed the game. Curry made the game more accessible for people who aren't tall, who aren't athletic, because his game is not based on any of that. It's based on skill. So like, you don't have to be LeBron, you don't have to be Kobe, you don't have to be Jordan. You can just be a very good shooter, a very good ball handler, and learn how to and understand, how to move away from the ball, how to run off screens. Like, you can do all that and be a great player. So if it wasn't for Steph, there's no like Trae Young. I'm trying to think of some other people, but like Anthony Simon's another guy.
There's
like
other players.
I
mean, Reggie Miller's game was basically that though. Reggie Miller,
yeah,
Richard Hamilton, you know what I mean? Those guys that,
Yeah, but they didn't do it at the level that Steph did though. Because Steph changed it. Because even back then, like, they weren't showing they weren't showing highlights of Reggie Miller outside of, those closing game moments. Like, they weren't doing that. Steph put it on a whole different level. And the fact that they were winning, like, that changed the game. So that made people like, okay, well, dang, I can be this person. Like, if there's no Steph, there's no Caitlin Clark. You feel me? Like Steph opened up that avenue for all those players. So he definitely changed the game. Like, he's a very in the annals of the NBA and like how people look at the game. Like, he's a very important player, like extremely important player. But that doesn't mean he's better than somebody else. You feel me? Like Kobe didn't change the game. But I would say Kobe's a better player than Steph, but he didn't change the game. You feel me? So, like, that's not to do. Like I said, Steph was the most important player on those teams. He just wasn't the best player on those teams.
Man, I don't know, man. I like I said, my main thing is closer than you're saying it's not close, but I'm saying it's close.
I'm not saying it's not. No, I'm not saying it's not close. I'm just saying it's clear. So, like, I can beat you clear. You can still be close to me, but it's just clear.
Bruh, I don't know, man.
If I said it's not close, then I misspoke. So I don't mean it's not close. I just mean KD is clearly
close,
better,
man. Look, Raider USC, man. Look, KD never won before Golden State and never won after Golden State.
And but that's like I said, that's Golden State did a great job of building that culture. Like KD's never, like, Steph is never going to have to really win outside of that culture. So it's not a fair comparison. Because KD was drafted to a bad organization, and the organization outside of Sam Presti, they've kind of been pretty up and down. And for a time, people were questioning Sam Presti because he let James Harden out the door and chose to keep Serge Ibaka over James Harden. So there were some questions about Sam Presti earlier. Now he's become better. He's almost like Sam Presti's almost like Howie Roseman, where he had to like make those mistakes, kind of fall from grace, and then like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna regroup, get better, and then turn into the best in the game.
The Thunder teams were pretty they're pretty talented, man.
They're very talented. But like I said, like he let James Harden out the door. Obviously, Kevin Durant left. He brought in Paul George, and that turned out to be a massive mistake. But which, in turn for him, luckily for him, he was able to turn that acquisition of Paul George into Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and all those other picks, which is why the team is set up so well now. But he definitely made some big mistakes early on, but he was able to learn from those mistakes, and now he has the Thunder set up to be one of the better teams for a long time.
I don't know, man. Look, he went to Brooklyn, didn't win. He went to Houston. He went to Phoenix, didn't win.
But
I don't know, man. I don't know. At this point, man, he's like someone called him a journeyman. KD now is a journeyman. Yeah, I agree. He's kind of getting to that point where
he's not a journeyman. He's a mercenary. That's different. That's a different. He's a mercenary.
Right.
Because a journeyman is like, oh,
self-proclaimed though. He's self-proclaimed mercenary. He called himself mercenary.
But he's a mercenary. I mean, like, it's not like he doesn't go anywhere and he's like bum, or he's like, okay, well, you know what, KD is going to be a role player here. You know, he goes everywhere. He's the 1 or 2 second best player on your team. He's just, he's just not the best player anymore.
Has he been past after the Warriors? Has he been past the first round?
I don't recall. I don't know.
I don't think he's been past the first round.
I don't know because
he's been in the East. He was in the East with Brooklyn for a little bit. Yeah, he did. He did.
He had that injury. He had that injury
with the Warriors or with
he had the injury with the Warriors. I think he got hurt again though. I think he got hurt with Brooklyn too. I think he missed an entire year with Brooklyn. I want to say that first year.
Yeah, man. Durant is just one of those players, man. Like him and Westbrook got like random careers, but I think he's more talented than Westbrook. He's had more success.
Fanboy, he didn't choke in the playoffs. KD killed that. KD killed in the playoffs. Matter of fact, he was a toe away from. And remember, I was rooting hard against that Brooklyn team because I just don't like Kyrie Irving. I just don't like.
Yeah, I remember he had that game where he was getting off. Like he was
getting off, bro. He single-handedly damn near won him that series. He was a toe away from beating the team that was eventually the champions those years. And I think he was doing that without James Harden and without Kyrie in that series. They were both hurt, and he almost single-handedly beat them with a bunch of role players. And that's a team that went on to win the title. So. I mean, don't people just be saying stuff just to say like he choked in Brooklyn. He didn't choke, he balled. It's just he had nobody there with him, and that team had absolutely no depth because they got rid of all their depth to bring on Harden and Kyrie.
Yeah. We'll see what he does with Houston. We'll see what he does with Houston because I think Houston got a good coach. We talked about this earlier. I think the Thompson kid, he played well. I think he was killing the Warriors. Yeah, no answer.
Man, Thompson.
He was basically their best player in that series. But we'll see, man. We'll see what happens this year. Yeah, no, I know. That's why I was kind of like surprised that he was in the trade. I was like, oh snaps, like. But man, and then now you're saying that he's probably gonna get traded again, which is crazy.
I don't see Phoenix keeping him because they're guard heavy already. So they already got Booker and Bill, and those are two deals that really can't get traded. Jalen Green is young; he's on a pretty reasonable deal. So it's like, he's the most likely candidate.
You know what's ugly too? He's gonna get. I heard that the trade is like there's a rumor that he's gonna get traded to Utah Jazz or something like that.
Really? That'd be terrible. Dang, I'll feel bad for it, bro. I feel bad for him.
Go from Houston to the Utah Jazz.
I feel bad for him, bro. The Utah, that's nasty. That's nasty, man. Utah got a good young coach, though.
Yeah. Arenas and Jameson back in the day Warriors. I don't know, man. That was like, it was short-lived.
Yeah.
They didn't really play that long. But I remember Arenas with the Warriors for sure, yeah. And then like the Warriors didn't want to sign Arenas for some reason. This adds to why the Warriors were bad back then. Terrible ownership and just management. Like they should have kept Arenas. But Jameson was a classic case of like a good player on a bad team. But if you put him on some other team, he's more of like a role player, maybe like a fourth option. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have him as like a number 2 or number 3.
What happened with Arenas is because they actually had to change the rule because since Gilbert Arenas was a second round pick, when he came due for free agency, Washington signed him to an offer sheet, but they put like a poison pill in there with some crazy like salary accelerator at the end of the deal. So like the deal is like reasonable the first like few years, and then the deal just like shoots up crazy like after that. And the Warriors like they couldn't match it, or so they had no choice but to let.
You got good memory,
because they have a rule. It's literally called the Gilbert Arenas rule, where it's like if it's a second round pick or something like that, you have the option. Like a team can't sign them to that kind of like crazy deal anymore.
Mm-hmm. Damn, you remember that, man? They got crazy good memory. Bill doesn't want to get traded with that no trade clause, which forced Phoenix to trade KD.
Yeah, Bill does have a no trade clause too. I forgot. Dang, that's crazy.
Damn, Bradley Beal, like, is he trash? Like, is he good?
He ain't been the same, bro, since he left Washington.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, teams got to be careful. Like, good players on bad teams, it's like, man, when you're actually trying to build around them, you realize like, you just benefited off no one actually being on the team to take shots, and you had like green light, and like now that there's pressure, and you got to be able to there's pressure to win, and you got to figure it out, and you got to
it's expectations. Like it's the same issue with the Raiders. To bring back to the Raiders can't deal with expectations. Like anytime the Raiders are expected to win a game, where they come up short, stupid penalties, stupid turnovers. That's kind of Bradley Beal. When he had no expectations, he was kind of under the radar in Washington. He was a baller. He was a hooper. And not only was he a good offensive player, he was a hella good defensive player too. But as soon as he got to a situation where, you know what, there's expectations on you now. And then like, okay, like now he's not the same kind of player anymore. So he has one, and he's always hurt too. That's another thing.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see, man. Bro, man, we always go off topic, man. We always go on the tangent. But hey, man, it's the off season, man. That's what happens. But let's move it along, man. The other honorable mention was Chris Canty. I was gonna play the clip, but we don't really have a lot of time. But Chris Canty basically was saying he's just doing this for like clickbait reasons, trying to get a reaction out of people. But he said that he said Joe Burrow wasn't top 10.
I don't know if he said top 10. I think he said Joe Burrow isn't elite.
Or he said Joe Burrow isn't elite. Yeah. We have a clip. He's don't have a lot of time, so we're just gonna move along. But yeah, man, Chris Canty definitely flag on a play worthy comment. I mean, like he's the same guy that said that Jalen Hurts wasn't top 10. I think he wasn't a top quarterback. Ends up, Jalen Hurts ends up winning. Yeah.
No, but then he tried to change it and say he was a top 10. And he was like, I never said that.
And he busted him out. Someone busted him out on that. I was like, damn, come on, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, man, I know everybody's talking about this conversation, but yeah, man, it's all good. Trying to get suspended a whole year, sues everybody, trying to get... Who the hell is in his top 10 then?
I don't know. I forgot who he had. Well, but he didn't list them off because how it came up was he was listing his quarterbacks. He was like something. Jalen Hurts. He was like, no, like you said, Jalen Hurts wasn't a top 10 quarterback. He's like, I never said that. And it's like, yeah, bro, you said that,
bro. I'm telling you, man. Like all these people in the media, and this happens in I'll be honest, content creating. Oh, hold on. My bad. Is this something from earlier? That message you sent?
What?
It's from earlier?
Oh, yeah. But we good. We good. But you still check it, but yeah, we good.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want to get on them too much because sometimes when you get in the heat of the moment, like the perfect example, like just this conversation we just had, like y'all said I said that like it wasn't close between Steph and KD, and I might have said that, but that's not what I meant. I just meant like it's clear as KD. So I if I said it's not close, like I shouldn't have said that. So sometimes like when people be in the heat of the moment, or they just say stuff, and they're like, "Oh, what are you talking about? I didn't say that." You're like, "Well, let me rewind the tape. Like you just said that." I'm like, "Oh, damn." So I probably did say it's not close between KD and Curry, but like that's not what. So maybe I don't know, but Top 10 is different though. If you say he's somebody not top 10, I don't know. That's kind of different. But so like I said, sometimes you get in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, earlier, yeah, you were saying it was not close. You said it was not close because you were, especially the way you were saying. And my thing was like, I'm not saying I wasn't like arguing like, oh, KD wasn't better. I could come on, bro. Like KD's like 6'10". We see like he's one of the best scorers of all time. I get it, the talent is there, but then it's things that Curry has that makes him who he is, that makes him a winner and makes the Warriors great and make him great. And like
he has more intangibles. More intangibles than Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is just
like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like I like those types of players, man. I like winners. Yeah. He's a winner.
Yeah. He's a. But it's like I said, like it's kind of not because he has a whole bunch. Like he was fortunate enough to be on a team with a lot of people that were also winners. Like Andre Iguodala is a winner. Klay Thompson is a winner. Draymond's a winner. Like all those guys, they all have those winning intangibles. And part of that's probably from Bob Myers, who was one of the best executives in the league, and Steve Kerr, who was also a clutch player in his own right in his time, also has a winner as well. So it's harder to say like SGA, like I guess in my opinion, I say SGA is the best leader in the NBA, and I say that because SGA was like all those people on his team, like none of those people were people outside of I guess Caruso, but none of those people were like people. They're all young, they're all super young, like they're all following him. So he is setting the culture there for that team. Like his coach is a young coach. His coach is only 40 years old. Like but nobody in the team was established before. It's essentially just him, and he's leading the way. And when you listen to those guys talk, they all talk about how he sets the example. Like they follow his lead. So like he's setting the culture there. And with like Curry, I think he was an important part of that culture. But I don't think like he was the driver to the culture. I think it was other people that drove it. But he was also like, hey, a part of it as well. Like I think he was a cog in the wheel. The most important cog. Don't get that twisted. He's the most important cog, but I think he was a cog in that machine.
This is hella. I know we're staying on basketball a little bit. We went on a tangent, but then did you see the OKC celebration after the game?
No, I didn't see it.
Exactly. Like they did not celebrate. They had like the media was like basically saying like there was hella like champagne. It was unopened. Yeah. Like it was hella calm. People were just putting on like it was like another day, like another game. Like like it wasn't any type of celebration. Like when a team wins a championship, everybody's going crazy. People wearing goggles because people are spraying champagne. It was none of that. It was just super chill.
But know why though? Look at SGA.
Like, that's kind of weird, bro.
I mean, but that's just his personality, bro. He's like super low key, super chill. Like even after Game 6 when they lost and they had to go back to OKC, the Game 7. Looking after the game, it was like no panic in him. Never raised his voice, never changed his inflection. He was the same way the entire time. He's super even keeled. Like at no point did he get panicked. And even to start Game 7, when everybody else was kind of, you can tell, you can like sense that they were nervous and, like their butterflies in their stomach and, their stomach in knots. He was the only guy out there still hooping, still regular. Like, hey, look, we about to do this. So, right. That's just how he is, man. That reflects his leadership. Just like when we had AP, it was like we were smoking cigars after regular season wins. Like SGA is a guy, he's just super, like, he's just like that.
Yeah, man, I thought that was weird, man. But, hey, if you haven't already, make sure to click in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let's get to notable quotables real quick, man. Let's go ahead and just play that Chris Kenny clip.
We can play it real quick.
Let's go ahead and do it. Thought I had it here. My bad. Oh yeah, man. This is random. Did you see what I sent you the other day? I did not know that Arthur Smith's dad was the co-founder of FedEx.
I didn't know that either. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's random.
I found out a whole bunch of stuff this year. Like I didn't know Jordan Schultz's dad was Howard Schultz.
That's wild, man.
Until this summer.
That's wild. So Fred Smith, the FedEx, corporation founder, he recently passed away. That was the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Arthur Smith, who was OC for Tennessee, head coach for the Falcons. Yeah, that was his dad. I did not know that. That was just a random fact. It's crazy. But let me go ahead and play this clip of Chris Canty talking about Joe Burrow, man.
He's not an elite quarterback, and we've got to get out of this.
We've
got to get out of this thing where we want to anoint everybody an elite quarterback.
Who's there?
I'm just saying, we can't give the runner-up to the runner-up to the runner-up elite quarterback status. There ain't but 3 spots on the medal stand. When we start talking about the podium, it's a gold medal slot, it's a silver medal spot, and it's a bronze medal spot. Okay. All right? The 4th place guy don't get an acknowledgement. And that's where I'm at with the Joe Burrow of it all. I think when you look at the big 3, when you look at what Patrick Mahomes has done, when you look at what Lamar Jackson has done, when you look at Josh Allen's body of work, those guys have done more in this league in terms of being able to validate their abilities as a quarterback. When it comes to being able to acknowledge the level of player that you are, we got a couple of ways we measure that in the league. It's Super Bowl rings, it's MVPs, and it's all pros. Joe Burrow ain't got none of those. Joe Burrow's claim to fame is once upon a time, 4 years ago, beat Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game on his way to losing the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, that doesn't give you elite status.
Man. So, obviously we gave an honorable mention flag on the play, but we're going to make it a notable quotable. So, this is what Chris Canty does. This is what this is what he does. He brings you in. He tries to get a reaction out of you. He tries to create, basically a conversation based off his crazy comments. Last year was about Jalen Hurts. We made him flag on a play, and I think we made him a flag on a play. I think was after the fact. We didn't catch it earlier in the year, but we caught it after when his co-host kind of caught him in a lie where. Earlier in the year, he said that, Jalen Hurts was in top 10. And then when he was listing his top 10 quarterback later in the year, he included Jalen Hurts. So he busted him out.
Yeah.
Fast forward to now he's talking about Burrow and saying that he's not an elite quarterback. The 4th place guy doesn't get a medal, obviously someone gets a gold medal, silver medal, and bronze. Like, what is he trying to say? Like, I don't get it. Like, If Joe Burrow was the quarterback of the Raiders, oh my God, man.
Bro. Oh my goodness. Like
I'd be like, it's gonna be a Super Bowl at some it's like with the next I'd be like basically that's what I'd be thinking. Like the Raiders are gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, fact. Like and you can make the argument that you can make the argument he's the second best player in the league. Second best quarterback in the league. Like if he played on a winning team last year, if his defense wasn't historically bad, he wins the MVP last year. So it's like you said, people it's like sensationalism where they just want to say like that it's like people talk about like it's the take culture where everybody has to have the take. Oh, I gotta have this hot take for you, and so it blows up and goes viral. And that's a lot of that blame goes to Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless because they've been doing it for years and just baiting people in with these wild ass takes. But like you said, it really doesn't hold up any weight because outside of being injured, he's been every season he's played he's been an elite quarterback.
Alex says Falcons Arthur Blank, co-founder of Home Depot.
Yeah, the owner, Arthur Blank, yeah.
Oh, the Falcons owner owns Home Depot?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the owners of the NFL teams are like billionaires outside of they made their money outside of the NFL teams. Like there's only a couple of teams that are You said Mark Davis. What?
Mark Davis like the only one that's not.
How about the Spanos family?
Yeah, they're. I want to say they're billionaires too.
But does their wealth come through the Chargers?
No,
or?
I forgot where that money came from, but it's not the Chargers though.
Not Chargers.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think maybe the Packers.
Packers like owned by the city, something weird like that.
Yeah,
owned by the city, something weird like that. So
yeah,
it's like
I guess that's the only other team. Packers. Every other team is probably owned by like some billionaire, tycoon or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, man, I agree. When I first heard the clip, I was like, "Come on, bro!" Like,
yeah, it's like, come on, man.
He's trying to get a reaction out of you, but
yeah, and
Joe
what makes it so bad is it works.
Yeah, it works. But he does it with a little. He doesn't stutter. He says it with like a matter of fact, like this is what it is, so he can get people. But I'll say this though. I think that Burrow hasn't lived up to the expectations of what we think he can be yet, because of like a lot of different reasons, because of injuries, poor offensive line play, a little bit of disappointment last year where he actually was balling out last year. He was balling out, but they just couldn't stop anybody
at all.
Remember it was that game? I think we did the weekly, game picks. And I think it was like one week where I was picking the Bengals, and I was watching that. It was that Bengals Ravens game. It was like it went back and forth. Like both games were like that, where it felt like it was just a back and forth game, and they end up losing the lead.
It's because Lamar is doing some crazy stuff.
Man, Lamar, bro. So it's Mahomes in top three, no order. Mahomes, Lamar, and Josh Allen. Would you put Josh Allen over Burrow, or is this you still have Burrow?
Personally, I wouldn't. I can see why people do. If you do, I'm not mad at you. You just won MVP, so I can't be good. Which it should have been Lamar, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But they just don't want Lamar to win it again. So But
he had better numbers than Josh Allen, and he had better numbers than the year prior.
When he won MVP.
Like what? That didn't make no sense. That didn't make no sense. Like, why did he not? That's all. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So it's like, so
you taking Burrow?
Yeah, honestly, I'll probably take Burrow. Like Burrow went to the Super Bowl. Like he was a Tyler Boyd drop away from winning the Super Bowl. Tyler Boyd doesn't drop the ball on third down, they probably win that game.
It's Josh Allen has that kind of like that gunslinger mentality a little bit.
Yeah.
Gets him in trouble. Does. And he believes in his talent so much too, like where he'll do fadeaway, drop back passes, and he'll he almost made it, but he could have made it easier on himself if he just rolled out and just passed a guy that was literally wide open or about to be wide open. But it is what it is. I think for me, Joe Burrow is just we've been waiting for him, because we seen it. We're like, oh damn, this dude's gonna be like next Tom Brady. He's is he the next? But we just haven't. It just hasn't been put together. Maybe they might need another coach.
Possibly. I think Zach Taylor is his coach. He's been there for a little while now. So they got a new defensive coordinator. So we'll see what that does.
Yeah. But definitely doesn't mean that he's not elite. I just think that I think as of right now, you got to put him outside of the top four just by default, just because the other guys have been a little bit more. They've been putting up numbers, plus they've gone to the playoffs.
Yeah. Only two of those guys been to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. You talking about Mahomes and
Burrow.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Damn. It's just damn. It's like damn. You got to go through Mahomes and Andy Reid. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, he's elite. I think he's elite. You know, you can put him in the top 3 quarterbacks. You can put him out if you want to put him outside the top 3. I'm not mad at that either, just because Josh Allen, what he did last year. You know, like it's hard to argue with somebody that won an MVP, but Joe Burrow, if his team won, like it wasn't his fault his team didn't win. Like he put up crazy numbers, he did everything he could. He was super efficient as well. They just couldn't get it done defensively.
Yeah. Oh, this is another honorable mention, man. I'm not gonna lie. Old boy's about to play Black Panther.
What you call it? Ryan Gosling? Is that real? I thought that was like internet troll stuff.
Is it troll stuff? I think did they get me?
I don't know. At
bro.
At
first, but now they're saying it's a. You know what? Before I even say anything, I'm gonna make sure it's official because I ain't gonna lie, that's disgusting.
Yeah, because it's I don't know.
That's disgusting. But oh man, there's a couple of things here. This is a notable quotable from a recent podcast with Marshawn Lynch and his co-host Mike Robinson with Pete Carroll, who made an appearance. And he said a few things. He said a couple of things, but I thought this was noteworthy. This is talking about the possibility of adding players that played under him, and DK was a name that came up. But let me go ahead and play the clip.
Great job bringing them with you. Great job paying them. Just talk about Gino and how much further along you've been because you have a guy that you know.
He tried to bring everybody about that building.
I know. Remember DK wanted to go.
He tried to get everybody about that building. He tried to have the Oakland Seahawks.
The Oakland Seahawks, bro. They everywhere.
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah, I was working there. Well,
I'm still
the Gino to me is like getting Marshawn. You know, to me it's like that because there's a connection of the impact that the guy can have on everybody else. Gino, you know, the years we spent together, the years when he wasn't playing were the most significant years to me because he exemplified this mentality that I had never seen in anybody else. So I really would tell you that he thought every play he was going to be in. And somehow he held on to that kind of focus that it wasn't, he didn't ever lose it. He didn't ever waver. Every play that the other guy was taking, it might be his last play and he might be ready and he needs to be ready to go. And you know, he'd been through some pain and some hardship and stuff like that. But by the time we got him, he came with this mentality that anyway, so when he finally got a chance, he did great. You know, and a lot of people were surprised. Shoot, he was comeback player of the year, you know, the first year that he started and all that after Russell left. And it was just, so to get him to come too was, oh man, it's just so significant because he's awesome. He's on every day, first guy on, last guy off. It's just sizzling in practice, you know, great throws every day. And he got the little skinny legs, you know. I keep hitting him with, hey, did they arrest the guy? And he says, which guy? The guy that stole your calves? But anyway, but he's, you know, he's just done everything you can hope for. And with Max is such a significant leader on the defensive side that those two guys, and they've just joined up together, you know, collectively to give us something that's really, really powerful. So, I mean, okay, that's a good start, you know.
Great.
So, you know, obviously they talk about Gino and what they're getting in him as a quarterback and yada, yada, yada. But if you guys missed it in the beginning of that, before Pete Carroll was able to answer the question, you know, Michael Robinson, former fullback in the NFL, former fullback for the Seahawks, and I think he played for did he play for the 49ers? I think he might have played with the 49ers too.
I don't remember. Possibly.
But he played for the Seahawks, obviously. He co-hosted the show with Marshawn, and he says, "Oh man, y'all were trying to remember y'all was trying to get DK wanted to come. Y'all were trying to get DK or DK wanted to come. He said DK wanted to come to the Raiders.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were kind of saying, "Oh, DK's not coming to the Raiders. It's not a fit, and he wants to go to winning." So DK wanted to come to the Raiders. So you know what I think? I think happened. I think it was a spy tech. I don't think Spy Tech wanted to do that trade. If DK wanted to come to the Raiders, that means that it was up to Spy Tech to make it happen.
Yeah. And you think about it, just because the draft pick compensation it would have taken, plus the salary cap it would have taken to sign him to a deal, I don't think they were going to do that. And then like DK, he might have been like an awkward fit culturally because of the kind of locker room they want to build. He's kind of like a quirky guy to say the least. Mm-hmm. So it might not have been a fit. Maybe Spy Tech didn't feel it was a fit for the culture or for the locker room, so they opted not to do it. But just in terms of talent, though, that'd have been crazy.
What did Pittsburgh give up to trade DK?
I want to say it was a third. I think.
Oh, third. Okay.
I think it was a third.
And if you hear Spy Tech talk over the offseason, he was like, man, he's pretty cheap. Like he wants to keep his draft picks.
Exactly.
If anything. So
they had already given one up for Gino. So like to ask him to give up another one.
Yeah.
It's just like
that would have been tough. That would have been tough for them. But yeah, man, hey, that wraps up notable quotables. If you haven't already, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. But we're not done yet. Before we get out of here, man, we got to do what's real, what's not. Severe, if you want to give the what's real, what's not statement.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you get it. Where we at with it? All right. So we just heard from the man right now on Marshawn Lynch's podcast, him and Mike Robinson's. But I have a question, or I have a statement. Pete Carroll will receive multiple votes for Coach of the Year. It could be first place votes, second place votes, or third place votes, but he will receive multiple votes for Coach of the Year. So that just means more than one. It doesn't have to be first place votes either. It could be third place.
That would mean that the Raiders made the playoffs.
Yes.
And my prediction as of right now is like 8-9 at best. And then low end probably like 7-10. 6-11. You know what I mean? Like low end.
Yeah.
So I don't think you get Coach of the Year votes for 8 and 9. So I'm gonna say it's not real. It's not real, man. I don't think he's gonna get Coach of the Year votes. But if he does, that means the Raiders made the playoffs.
And that's kind of what this depends on. Because if the Raiders it depends on like whether or not you believe the Raiders. If the Raiders make the playoffs, he's definitely getting some votes. It may not be first place votes, may not be second place votes, but he's going to get some third place votes in there. So this all hinges on whether or not you feel the Raiders are a good enough team to make the playoffs. And I'm right there with you, Pharaoh. I've been saying all along, like a 7-ish win team. If everything breaks right, maybe they can win 10 and sneak in the playoffs. That's like if everything breaks right. That means like Christian Wilkins is back at training camp doing the electric slide. Like his foot is cool. Like he's good. Ashton Genty is Rookie of the Year material, and the defense plays well. And Chip Kelly is everything we thought he would be, an offensive coordinator. And Gino, he gets rid of red zone turnovers and plays really, really good. Like all that stuff will have to happen. Plus, we need a little bit of help from some people in our division and in our conference because a lot of those teams improved. So it's going to be real difficult to do it. So that's what I'm saying. Not real, but if we make the playoffs, he's definitely getting some looks.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, man, and you got to think about offensive line too. Offensive line, that means the offensive line played well. Obviously, Genty.
Yeah.
Even the receiving core.
Yeah,
we were able to get by with the inexperience that we have at wide receiver, outside of Tucker and Jacoby Myers. And if you think about that mix, it's kind of a random mix. Like you're relying on a third-year vet and Trey Tucker, and obviously Jacoby Myers, who we have confidence in of being productive.
Yeah.
But then you have Trey Tucker, like that's the So are you saying you're going to be starting a rookie at wide receiver? Are we going to be picking up another wide receiver before training camp or near training camp or between now and training camp. We heard rumors about, Amari Cooper. There might be some possible interest there. Maybe they're far apart on the contract or whatever the case may be. But I just, it's a lot has to go right, man. A lot has to go right. A lot has to go right. But I hope it goes right. If I hope I'm wrong. Hey, like when I be saying like 2026, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's 2025, man. I hope the Raiders go to playoffs.
Exactly.
I want to see competitive Raider football. Like that's what I want to see. It's way more fun when you watch the football team that you root for in the playoffs or playing in a competitive setting. Like it's just like, I don't know, man. It's nothing like it. Or just playing a competitive game during the regular season where this has playoff implications. You're way more into the game instead of watching a game where you're like, man, we're out the playoffs. Like,
exactly.
Man, like offensive line can't protect nobody, or we can't run the football. And that's what the issue was last year. We couldn't, O-line didn't play well. It took a while for them to gel. Fired the offensive coordinator. Worst run game in the NFL, or one of the worst in the NFL. Injuries at running back. Disappointment at running back. Zamir was not what we expected him to be. Quarterback was terrible. Trash.
Yeah.
I could keep going. But yeah, man. It's I just hope that if Pete Carroll takes the Raiders to the playoffs this year, he's one of the greatest coaches. I mean, he's already one of the greatest coaches. But I'm gonna be
exactly.
Wherever you got, where we need to sign a petition. This dude needs to go in the Hall of Fame right now. He's old enough.
Yeah,
Just let him do it now, not later, man. Do it now, not later, man. Don't do Pete Carroll like that. Because for him to come in and just do that, man, I would respect that a lot. But it's a process, bro. Like at the end of the day, like I don't think it's gonna happen all in 1 year. It just doesn't happen like that. So we got to give them time. And yeah, man, I don't know, man. I just can't see. If he ever coached first year, that's wild, man. What do we say? I think we roll the wide receivers on the roster now. I think we roll with the receivers on the roster now, but we shall see. Yeah, that's what it looks like. But man, like the more you think about it, the more you're like, damn, like, are they really gonna rely on Dante Thornton?
Yeah.
Trey Tucker?
And it gets even sketchier if you think about like what we've been hearing. They've been like Jacoby's been in a slot a lot. So it's been Dante Thornton and Trey Tucker on the outside and Jacoby in the slot. So that's like even weirder.
Yeah. Man, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's why I keep saying Amari Cooper. I know you mentioned Keenan Allen, but Keenan Allen is just, it's nasty. We're gonna have like
Amari Cooper is nasty too.
Yeah, but
Amari Cooper nasty.
At least Cooper got some speed. Keenan Allen.
True.
We got.
He was productive last year though.
How many Keenan Allens do we have on the roster? We got Jacoby Myers. We got Jack Besh. We got Brock Bowers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guys that you can put in the slot and let them go to work. You know what I mean? Like at some point we got to get something that complements the pieces that we already have. Like, that's what I'm saying. But
that's the case. We'll get DJ Chark and hope he stays healthy. If that's the case,
man, I remember I was like, I think that offseason where he was a free agent, I think people were paying attention to, DJ Chark is in Vegas. So that means the Raiders are going to sign
everybody. We all wanted him on the squad.
But I think that was that the year we got Devontae? But I think we were all like, oh, we should get a deep threat.
I don't remember. Was that the year we got Devontae? I don't think so. I think I remember our wide receiver core being sad that year. I think that was the year before Devontae.
Year before Devontae?
I think the year before Devontae.
Okay. All right, let's move along, man. The next what's real, what's not statement is the Raiders will add multiple players before the start of training camp. The Raiders will add multiple players before the start of training camp. Is that real or is it not? The Raiders will add multiple players before the start of training camp. Is that real or is it not? So I'm going to say he said multiple players. I know they brought in a corner. Was it last week?
Shaquille Griffin.
Between now and the start, so it has to the timeline is between now and the start of training camp, which is like July 22nd is the first report date for the rookies.
Yeah. So they got like a month.
Multiple. So that means corner.
At least 2.
Alexander says, I believe it's real. We just got done talking about how receiver looks kind of shaky.
Yeah. Bring your boy Amari Cooper.
I'm gonna say not real. I'm gonna say not real. I'm gonna say not real. I think it's maybe one player max. It could be wide receiver. It could be corner. I think they told on themselves when they looked at a corner. So I think that's a high possibility. They could look at that. I don't that slot corner spot. It's kind of weird what's going on right now. They're going 5-man fronts and they're moving, the strong safety to slot corner.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's tough too. So slot corner is something that they can possibly add. Maybe if they add a guy who's like what 31, 30. I think he's still out there. Slot corner from the
Mike
Bengals.
Hilton.
He's still available. He's still out there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say not real. I'm gonna say not real. I think it's only one player. Alexander thinks it's real. Alex says 2 possibly added still, but I don't know. AJ says time to go get Clowney. We talked about this earlier. Let him be Michael Bennett. See, that's what I said. Michael Bennett reincarnated.
He ain't Michael
for
Bennett,
his defense.
Though. People forget how good Michael Bennett was, man.
No, Michael Bennett was good. He was good.
Michael Bennett was inside and outside. He was good, and he would talk trash.
Yeah.
So he got the psychological edge to him as well.
And what's his? How would he fit? How would he fit in the locker room? Like, what type of personality does he have? What is he? Is he? I don't think he's like a high motor guy too. You know, like
Vivian.
Yeah.
McClowney. I don't think he's like bad character guy though. To be real with you, like I think he's just like low key chill for the most part. Like I've never heard anything like negatively said about him that I can recall.
Yeah,
like, I think he's just outside of obviously he didn't live up to the hype, but other than that, I think he's been a pretty solid teammate. So I don't think he'd be like a negative.
I think if we get Clowney, it says a lot about how they feel about Tyree.
Yeah,
because basically what I'm saying is basically what Clowney is going to give to the Raiders is what we're hoping what we hope that Tyree was going to give to the Raiders. Be good against the run, be a compliment to Max, because he's gotten like 8 sacks. Like he can get sacks. He can pressure the quarterback. But
Tyree?
No, I was talking about Clowney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
if I'm saying.
I didn't see him last year. I don't know how much juice he has left, so I don't know. But I'm going to say it's not real. I think they're going to get into camp first, maybe a few days, and depending on if they like what they see or not, maybe at that point they start bringing guys in or start having some more tryouts. I do think they bring in Shaquille Griffin. I don't know who they get rid of. Probably like Caillou Blue Kelly, maybe Sam Webb, somebody like that to bring in Shaquille Griffin. Or maybe one of the many edges they have. They have a bunch. So they have they have like 5 or 6 edge players. Maybe they get rid of them. But I don't know if they bring in, I don't know if they do it before camp. I think they kind of wait to see what camp, like how camp unfolds. At least the early practices.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I think it's one player max. That's about it. And then like once training camp rolls around, you know, they can easily pick up a player, have them try out or whatever. You know, a player can get cut. You know, they might end up just making a move right before the season starts, you know, something like that.
In fact.
But we'll see, man. But hey, man, it's been a great show. We went longer than expected, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock it. At this point, clock out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Severe, man, let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
Yes, sir, man. You guys know what it is. The Severe Raider here on YouTube, IG, Snapchat, TikTok, X. Holla at me. You know, get at your boy. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button on my channel and on Pharaoh's channel. Coming at you live on Sunday nights and Tuesday afternoons with the Raider War Room. That's my guy Chris from Protect the Shield and 805 Raider. Then on Tuesday late nights and Thursday, I got the 50-50 show, the world famous 50-50 show, and Around the Shield with my dog PharoahNFL. This Thursday, looking to have some guests on there. You know, hopefully if we get everything locked down and confirmed, be some pretty dope guests, man. So make sure y'all tap in. Like I said, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you like what you saw today, you know, make sure you share with some fellow Raider fans, man.
Definitely, man. Appreciate everybody coming through. And like I said before, man, clock out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We go live on both of our channels. So anytime you see we go live, we're going live on both channels. So you want to make sure you head over, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Next time you'll see us is probably this Thursday around the Shield. Be on the lookout for that. And we might have some guests lined up for y'all. So make sure to check that out. Make sure to tune in. And yeah, man, we got a Pharaoh Flicks, man. Shout out to Rick Rock, man. I'm gonna stick with that name, Pharaoh Flicks. Man, I gotta watch Tenet. I was like, you know what? I can't introduce Pharaoh Flicks when I said I was gonna watch Tenet. So let me watch Tenet. But Tenet's not on any of the platforms, so I'm gonna have to watch it bootleg.
I mean, it didn't be that bad. As long as you got a clear picture, because you kind of got to see some stuff. You got to kind of have a clear picture. As long as the picture is clear, you good.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Christopher Nolan, you know, he likes to shoot his stuff in IMAX, cameras and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give it a fair shot. I'm actually gonna just watch it like this, just hands folded like this. I'm gonna be.
It might be on YouTube. Is it on YouTube? It's not on YouTube. Like, maybe you gotta pay for it though.
Oh, if it's on YouTube, that's how you know it's ass. It came out a couple years ago.
It's some cool movies on YouTube. You gotta pay for them though.
But years ago, like, but I'm talking about like that movie just came out. That came out like more recent, not like within the last year or two, but like, you know what I'm saying?
Like 4 years ago or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. So we'll see. I'm gonna give you my first experience with Tenet was bad, so I'm gonna give it a fair shot. But Severe, man, I'm not gonna lie. You're giving this. You're saying it was a great movie. You're saying it's a great movie.
Well, it's ain't great. It was good. It was a good movie.
Out of 10.
7.7.
7.7. Hold up. What's better, this one or Sinners?
Sinners, but they're different movies, though.
No, I mean just yeah, but something could be better though. A better movie.
They're different,
even though they were different.
It's Sinners, but it's unfair because I saw Sinners in theaters. I didn't see Tenet in theaters. Okay. So the experience and everything could be playing. Like if I saw Tenet in theaters, especially like some of the action scenes where the cars are driving backwards and flipping over and all that stuff, you see that stuff on a big screen with Dolby surround sound and in a dark room, and it's the IMAX from the floor to the ceiling, and you get to get that whole like that changes your perception of a movie. So it's like, especially like some of those scenes were like fought, like the backwards fighting scene, like some of that stuff was like shot for the theater. Like if you see that in the theater, that changes your experience. But so it's not totally fair. But I would give it the edge to Sinners.
All right, man. We'll see, man. You said 7.7 out of 10, man. That's a pretty That's a good rating. So you gave Sinners an 8.
Probably like an 8.2 or something like that.
Okay. All right, man. Hey, we'll see, man. I'll let you know. Hopefully, if I find some time, man. Hopefully before next show, Around the Shield. I'm gonna let you know how I feel about Tenet, man. I'm gonna give you that real, man. But hey, man, we appreciate everybody coming through. It's been a great show. Any last thoughts before we head out?
Nah, Katie better than Curry. That's it.
Hey, man, salute, man. Rick Rock, man. Appreciate you. My God, man. All right, man. We up out of here. Let's get up out of here, man. It's about that time, man. Peace.
Just win, baby. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.